This is the One Piece Podcast, episode 654 for the week of Sunday, January 10th, 2021. My name is Zach.
And my name is Ed.
And my name is Steve.
And on today's show, we have our anime recap host, Sam Leach, with us. How's it going, Sam?
Speaking of anime, have you seen anime?
I watched 2 episodes of it this morning.
Anime? Is that still a thing?
After this week, who
like
knows?
Anime?
We also have Jill Knight, our contributor, on. How's it going, Jill?
It's pretty good. I like anime as well.
And last but certainly not least, we have Viz community manager Godswill returns with us this week. How's it going, Godswill?
I was happy to be back, and life is going, I guess, right?
Yeah, so years and years ago, and by that I mean last week, we recapped chapter 1000. We did a live reading of that. So if anyone wants to check it out, that's available. The video versions on youtube.com/One Piece Podcast. And you can also just listen to the episode anywhere you get your podcasts. But I have Godswill here for a really good reason, and that's because the celebration continues. And Godswill, you want to talk a little bit about what you're putting together?
Absolutely, yeah. And thanks for allowing me to talk about it. So we're trying to do a celebration for the 1000 chapter on January 16th, starting at 12 p.m. Pacific. We'll be doing a live stream on YouTube where we have quite a few celebrities that'll be doing mini games against each other. And we're doing this all to raise money for charity and to make One Piece the best fandom on the internet. So, let's celebrate One Piece together, have fun, and raise money for charity. We're going to be raising money for World Central Kitchen, a great charity that's trying to help feed families throughout the world, especially now through COVID. Just have fun with One Piece for sure. And excited to see everyone that's supposed to be there. So stay tuned on the internet for more news, and you'll be seeing a lot more of it this coming week, really.
Ooh, excited for that too, yeah. I think we're going to hopefully do some trivia-related stuff with you.
Yes, I'm very excited to see what you guys got.
Well, I got to get the books open and start putting together some questions. But yeah, I mean, that is a thing we do a little too much on this show. But speaking of... Sam, we have an anime recap this week, and this week's anime episode is definitely a really good and cool anime episode. Which one is that going to be for?
That is for 957, big news, an incident that will affect the 7 warlords.
Big news.
And big news indeed. And I'll be joining Sam for that. I'm very excited for any Morgan's content we get. It's always good. He's a favorite of this podcast. We also want to remind all you guys about the character poll that's still going on. Jill, I know you were very excited about the worldwide, the WT100 character poll for One Piece going on.
Yes. So because of chapter 1000, they've done this huge character poll that you can vote for, and I think it's daily voting.
Yeah.
Yes.
When does it end? I don't remember off the top of my head.
Sometime in early February, I think I don't remember the exact
Or it's
date.
like late February. I think it's like February 28th.
Okay.
So I just pulled it up on my phone. It's onepiecewt100.com, and you'll want to do /en/ in order to get to the English version. It's amazing. They've got a ton of different characters throughout the entire series that you can vote for. Of course, I'm going for Shirahoshi every day to boost her numbers. Sam is a coward who voted for Caribou.
Sam is voting for all the characters who shouldn't get anywhere in this.
So if you see Caribou get 1 vote, we know who that was, and so we can just plan on that.
My part and vote for him too.
Oh, God.
Well, as of
down.
today,
Stop the votes.
As of today, and I'm sure I'm the only one, Dr. Fishbonin has one.
Yeah.
So you can vote every day. You can choose one character to give all of your votes for. You can mix them up. You can all vote for Dr. Fishbonin and support Steve.
I have a system in place where it's going to be for every 3 votes for Carrot, I'm going to give 2 to Caesar and 1 to Caribou. That's my...
God, you're so disappointing.
Oh my God.
Has anyone taken the plunge and sent out a postcard yet?
Oh, I got to do that.
Those are worth like 10 votes or something.
Figure out how to
ship
something.
Is that how that works?
Yeah. Postcards are worth 10 votes.
Wow.
Alrighty.
What's the website one more time?
How many postcards?
OnePieceWT100.com/EN. for those who speak English, which I assume are most of the people listening to this. I just voted for Morgans as we spoke. I feel like he definitely deserves it this week. He did a really good job. You could vote, I think, once on each device of yours, and it ends on February 28th, Japan time. So I think that's the 27th in the States.
You heard the man. Borrow your parents' devices. Vote as many times as you want.
Yes, you don't even have to. Don't even borrow them. Just take your parents' phones and say, "I'm voting for blank character." Let's say Dr. Fishbone is voiced by Steven Yurko.
I'm voting for Senor Pink.
Is that really true that you can get away with it just on different devices? Because I've got a phone.
Oh no! Don't tell Sam that.
Sam,
laptops. Voting skyrockets.
I have a computer at home and a computer at work.
I don't think we'll get arrested here for voter fraud, but I used one device for Sanji, and then I was using my phone for Pearl.
Oh my god, you guys, what are you doing?
Yeah, I wear my campaign button.
This is the real election fraud.
Stream last year.
Or the votes.
By the way, I think we talked a little bit about this, but I think the hot characters for each, they show you like who's trending for each continent or region. I think it's important to know that doesn't mean who's winning that specific day, but who's like surging that specific day, who's doing especially well. So
Luffy was number 1 in North America.
Yeah,
when I checked earlier today.
It's Luffy, crazy. Zoro, Sanji, the big three. Not surprising.
Sometimes Law.
In Japan now,
I'm just seeing Luffy, Zoro, Sanji on everything.
Japan right now is Zoro, Sanji, Luffy. Where else? What other region should I look in? Latin America.
Zoro's just been dominating.
Zoro, Luffy, Sanji. Zoro is
third in
popular. Europe. So that's kind of upsetting the paradigm there, Europe. See what you're doing. I understand that Trafalgar is named after a European place, so maybe that's what it is. Mm-hmm. That might be what's going on there. But yeah, if you haven't voted,
that's not the source of his popularity. So.
Not the tattoos or the hotness.
No. It's people are very historically accurate in Europe, I think we could say.
Well, he is. So what is it? He's named after a place in Britain.
Yeah, Trafalgar
Square. I think like a shopping center, right? Yeah.
I don't know if it's a shopping center, but it was a battle took place.
It was
in
battle.
Trafalgar.
Yeah, it was a battle off of Spain.
Yeah, I think it was off of Spain. It was Trafalgar and Waterloo. Waterloo is
supposed to be like German though in the whatchamacallit.
It was part of the Napoleonic Wars between.
That's an image country. That's not like a literal
image country. That's the phrase. I know that, but
so Law is also third in Oceania. But everywhere else, it's the big three. It seems like as of
Waterloo.
Waterloo.
They got to go for the name.
Waterloo.
Yeah.
I just voted for Frankie.
Good, Frankie deserves some.
Yeah, more love.
God's will. You're so wise. So wise.
God's will, so wise. We all.
Well, it was really interesting. The last time they did the, I think it was just a North American poll, and it was crazy that like Brook and Jinbei placed in the top 10.
Wow.
It was fascinating.
Well, I like Brook and Jinbei.
So do I. But like the top 3 characters always seem to be consistent. It's the monster trio, and then everything after that is always like just like a wild card. I'm really looking forward.
A lot of it is dependent on the arc we're in.
So
people's minds and stuff.
I think that's why Law's stock has like really gone up again.
Jinbei's going to be good this year.
This is related, but this week has felt like years because I completely forgot that this was the week that the New York Times advertisement came out. We talked a little bit about it, ahead of time, prospectively, but now we could talk about it retrospectively. So I've had the Times all this week and gotten all the fun headlines and included with the advertisement for One Piece, but it's a really cool ad. A lot of people have been asking if you could order it. Ed, I know you had posted a link too about
it involves sending a check through the mail, so I mean,
yeah, but if you're sending your postcard to vote for people to Japan, you could also send it.
Yeah.
If anyone has blank checks anymore.
I think you could Google New York Times back orders, and I think it'll come up. What was the date it came out?
So no, it has to be within the last 90 days, and they can be ordered by mail using a check or money order. So
yes, everyone loves money orders.
How much do they charge for this anyway?
I think
$5. I think.
No, overseas it's a lot. I think it's like
overseas.
17 or something. But you know
No,
what?
that's for the Sunday edition. For a weekday edition, which is where
it was Monday,
the
4th, I think it was.
It's if you want it first class mail, it'll cost you $8.45.
If you need that thing as quickly as possible.
Well, you have to do it
priority?
within the first 90 days after the issue. So,
well, I was gonna add that if you're buying it off of eBay, I assume it's a lot more than that amount. So it might be worth.
Yeah, I mean that's probably less than the whole shipping cost.
Yeah, if you want it and you're willing to pay like however much it is internationally, it might be worth it to do that. It's definitely a special thing. It's not like a thing you could just
$6.40 for Canada, $7.50 for other countries.
But I know a lot of people out there were lucky enough to pick it up and
I had to go to a Barnes and Noble.
I was as of last Monday. That's how old I was when I discovered that the New York Times is a national paper, not just national to the state of New York. Because I asked my dad to go pick me up a couple copies, and he was like, "Oh, is there an article about Rick and Morty or something?" I'm like, "Nah, it's just One Piece. One show Piece. I've dedicated half of my life to."
What's that?
And my mom asked me, "He's like, did you draw this ad?" And I was like, "No."
In your defense, Steve, it is called the New York Times, not the America Times.
You could understand my mistake. So that when I found that out, I went to a few 7-Elevens, wore a mask, just as a reminder. And yeah, and I got a bunch.
So your 7-Eleven did have it? Because mine didn't even have a spot for the New York Times anymore.
I went to two, and yeah, where they have the newspapers. One store only had one, and then I went to another one, and they probably didn't. This other one probably didn't sell any all day, so I just sold all of them. And the cashier even kind of like looked at me strangely when I was buying 3 of them.
It's probably like, oh, are those worth something? It's just going into the back, grabbing.
No, it's probably
now, sucker.
It's probably like, oh, did you just get a kitten or a puppy or something, and you need this? That's one reason to buy lots of newspapers.
My bird, it just poops.
Sometimes places also do have like back issues that they weren't able to sell, but at this point, it might be a little late for that. So there was also a bit of other. This has been some week, I think, on the internet for all of us. But in One Piece related stuff, if you were active on Twitter or social media, you may have noticed that there were a lot of takedown notices. And you know, I'm gonna just read what Joey wrote about it. Joey Weiser, friend of the podcast, frequent guest. I think he did a good job. I think if you, he said, sorry, I'm reading word for word what you're saying. DMCA's or the Digital Millennium Copyright Act notices hit an assortment of folks the other night, and turns out that it was likely the result of personal attacks from someone posing as Shueisha, and that also, friend of the show, he was on last week, Greg, mentioned that Shueisha is currently evaluating how they want to handle content like this, but it seems to be unrelated. So really, as a note, these are how you want to, kind of go through, filter your posts, I guess, on Twitter. Mm-hmm. You want to put stickers on images that include manga panels, or color filters, or change the angles, or crop, or just use one panel instead of a whole page. Just make it differentiated from the source. But it looks like, because I also know like some fan art, like 1 or 2 instances, I think in total were taken down, and a couple instances of GIFs were taken down, but it doesn't seem like, well, first off, it doesn't look like it was Shueisha at all right now as we sit here. But it doesn't seem like there was also any specific pattern to it, right? I don't know. This is all I know.
It was bizarre.
Yes.
And we still don't have all the answers, but I think a little bit more light has been shed on it, because this happened like Thursday night for us, which would be Friday morning in Japan. I saying that like it was Shueisha. We at this point we don't even know and don't even think it is anymore. What a strange, oh God,
very strange,
been a weird weekend.
Yeah, week
and lots of people, even like I forget if it was just mentioned just now, but like Sai, one of her posts was flagged, which posted manga pages or maybe manga panels. I can't remember, but
It was
Yeah,
it was from chapter 1000 and something else, I think.
like Shueisha, like not saying like Shueisha would answer, but you know, Shueisha's home for the weekend while this happened. So
Yeah, and
I
I don't even know if the left hand's talking to the right hand. If it was Shueisha, which it doesn't look like it was. There's a lot. I mean, we thought we kind of knew what was going on at first, and then it turns out it wasn't what was going on, and it's been yeah, I think we could throw our hands up in the air and say we have no idea what's going on. But if you were worried about posting fan art, I don't think there's any reason to be. And it doesn't look like any accounts were suspended because of it. So that's good news too. But if you're worried about it, you know, just don't put full pages of manga panels and of manga pages.
Yeah, I'm choosing not to do that from now on. But fan art, I it's amazing how quickly word will spread when there's no information to back it up just yet. Everyone was saying like, oh, they're taking down fan art, and I'm like, well, what fan art? What are people talking about?
Yeah.
There
There were two instances,
one of the artists
I think, right?
Yeah, one of the artists is an artist Fenya who apparently I guess does do some work with
Video game
Shueisha
studio, I
or
think.
Toei, doing stuff for the mobile game. They had one of their art taken down. And another one was a fan comic that is, in my opinion, is earnestly trying to recapture the likeness of Toriyama and like Toyotaro, but not quite there. But other than that, like I heard something about cosplay pics being
I haven't
taken
seen
down,
that.
but other than
Yeah.
other than that, I
saw
haven't seen any fan artists like report having their stuff taken down.
Sam, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was just gonna back Steve up. That I didn't like. I heard about the cosplay thing, but I haven't actually seen the examples given.
Yeah.
That's what makes me think that this is hokey. Going after gifts and cosplay, that just seems bizarre. Or like it could possibly be a bot. We still don't. It's Sunday and we still don't know.
Yeah.
For sure, I should say. But
yeah,
it seems like
if
Joe as Joey written out. I think we understand a little bit more.
Yeah, and it's possible that by the time you're listening to this, there's more information about it. But it seems to have kind of faded away into the background at this point. But we'll see. I mean, I think it's a good reminder that this kind of thing could happen, especially in relation to the new law that passed on January 1st in Japan, or as of January 1st in Japan. Regarding copyright, they have much stricter copyright laws there and can take action if they so choose. I think Shueisha and Toei generally let things like doujinshis, go ahead because that is a very important business on that end, and it's very important for them, I think, to keep fan content alive. But it's always been this very weird back and forth there as to strict copyright and also helping fans around the internet be themselves, I guess. I don't know quite how to put that. But one more thing before we go, and that is before we start the show, which we're ending. We're also on the Shonen Jump podcast, which I think is that out now or is it coming out tomorrow? Probably should check that. But Ed, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We got to talk with the new host of the show. Oh boy, I forgot his name.
I think it's
anyway.
Cody. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So we got to talk about One Piece Chapter 1000 and sort of our One Piece fandom, going back and talking about how it started and how it's evolved, and talking about other manga and anime that we like as well. So it's I think Steve got very excited about Ice Shield 21 at one point. Tori got very excited, but when you mentioned it,
Tori got very excited. She leaked the happenings on the upcoming Shonen Jump podcast. She just had to get the word out there that Ice Shield 21 is a really good manga, And it is. It was a lot of fun. I had a good time on it, and Alex was on as well. And give it a listen.
Yeah, and Tori's also going to be on this podcast on the 24th. It's not out as I speak right now, but I think it's supposed to be out soon, that episode. So just keep an eye on their feed. I think that's going to do it. So we're going to be talking about the Shokugeki no Sanji Chapter 2, Sanji Banquet Assistant. And we're also going to be going through the latest anime episodes, plus some piece together. So you guys ready?
Yep.
Yep.
This is the manga recap for Chapter 2 of Shokugeki no Sanji, Banquet Assistant. You can always read chapters of Shokugeki no Sanji at shonenjump.viz.com and mangaplus.shueisha.co.jp. Yeah, the first one, I think you need the subscription to read. Right now, I think this one is still free. They don't really have anything to do with each other. I mean, I don't think you need to read one to understand the other. I think you just need to understand One Piece a little bit. So, Ed, what's going on the cover?
Sure, we got Sanji and some cookware and a last extradite wine.
Yeah, my
as
favorite.
he loosens his tie from too much exertion.
By the way, we wanted Maddie to be here. But she's not. But Steve could be the Sanji, the loving Sanji spokesperson for us here today.
No respect. No respect for Shokugeki no Sanji.
So, by the way, this is the second special by the artist and the story and the author for Food Wars, right? I assume these are both them. Anyway, Ed, why don't we get started on the first two pages?
So Sanji's preparing some food, and you can see by the way Nami is dressed in the tattoo that this takes place somewhere probably between Arlong and Logtown, if I had to guess. She has the tangerine tattoo, and it's the original forecast.
Or it could be. Can it be the Grand Line, or is it definitely on the East Blue?
Well, it's before. I mean,
oh yeah, she doesn't have the log pose too. So that would it's a compass. So
come on, Zach.
Yeah.
God.
So yeah, he's made some cold pressed fruit juice that it has the tang of tangerines. Anyway,
tangerines.
So yeah, it's very nice. He's very effusive with his praise of Nami, and Zoro's annoyed by this. What do you want about this time, Cook?
Steve, what happens next?
And we get a big shot of Zoro here.
Sexy Zoro.
Max.
Sex.
His eyes, they smolder.
Stupid sexy Zoro. Yeah, this is before Logtown because he only has one sword. He says, flirting with anything that moves day after day. Feh! And he says, well, if I was awake, I'd just be listening to your stupid Playboy lines all day. And now he's like, you stop fighting. Zoro's is like, where's my juice? I want a juice. I want my juice. And she's like, well, if you said it at pardon me, might I please have my portion? Try being polite. And then he says, try being polite. And then he turns to the rest of the crew saying, get your butts down here. I made drinks. But then Sanji notices a dinghy or a small boat out in the sea, and there's a man on it, and he's clutching his injured arm.
Wait, are you going to mention what's on his head? His headwear? More importantly.
His head is fish, his arm is hurt.
There you go.
And then you get actual pirate talk for once. Someone says, castaway off the port bow. And Zoro's like, oh, what are we going to do? And Luffy's like, oh, a castaway? You think he could sing? Do you see an instrument? And someone says, drop the musician thing already.
I love that it's just Luffy's arm. Just
stretched
out.
Some really creative choices with keeping
Luffy off screen.
and Usopp obscured.
This is the SpongeBob peeking his hand out from the curtain.
Hey.
So clouds pass by, some time passes, and Nami says, "Oh gosh, your shoulder and collarbone might be broken. Probably have some cracked ribs too. I wouldn't." It's like, I'm no doctor. I wouldn't move my arm for at least a few weeks.
We don't have a doctor
Sits
here, but we do have bandages.
Man just sits there, probably grimacing.
This is
Sam. Yeah.
This is Castaway Ruibe, who's saying, "Oh, I didn't need you lot saving me." And Sanji is kind of aggrieved, like, "Come on, old man. How can you complain after getting personal nursing from Nami, huh? I'm jealous, damn it. Want me to break something? Well, because I'll do it." And so some time passes, and I guess the Ruibe has just filled Sanji in on the story. Like, so if I'm getting this right, you're a chef from a nearby island. And since your daughter is getting married, you figured you'd get the legendary fish to serve at her wedding feast. But on your way home after buying some, you got caught in a sudden squall and hurt yourself trying to write it out. And I like to imagine that Sanji is speaking like completely plainly here, while his like heart eye is bulging out at the picture of his daughter.
Seems that way.
Wow.
It's like, you're lucky we came along. Most people would be thanking us. So what are you in such a sour mood for? And the guy's asking for this picture back.
Which Sanji
Sanji
just
has
places.
Family photo, and he just takes it from the
Just
sky.
takes it and puts it in his coat pocket. Yeah.
So the wedding feast is tomorrow, it turns out. And they have to get home fast. Luffy and Usopp, obscured by the word bubbles, Mike Wazowski style. "Oh, did you hear legendary fish? Yeah, I like the sound of that. I wonder how yummy they taste." And Luffy's saying, "Hey, we'll take you back to your island, so let's have some fish, okay?" And Nami's stopping him from like reaching out. "Didn't you hear? It's for a wedding feast." And Ruibe is saying, "If you want them, you can take them all. Eat them, toss them back in the sea, do whatever you want." And Sanji he's got a question mark.
And then they show us these fish, which are pretty nice looking fish. Nami's like, "Oh, they're beautiful." Usopp's like, "Oh, this
evil,
giant barrel."
Right?
What?
They look horrible.
Nami,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Nami loves anything that looks evil. We know that.
They look expensive to her, probably. Yeah. So Usopp also literally just his eyes and top of his head are obscured.
Usopp
is that man?
Usopp is a crime victim right now. It's like,
Hidden for his safety.
give me one of those blurkles.
It's a better disguise than anything they wear on the islands. So we see this giant barrel packed full of fish, and Sanji recognizes them. Draconic super fillet salmon, which I would absolutely order if I saw that on a menu.
Facts.
I would.
Same.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder, is there a restaurant that's just named all of their stuff after One Piece stuff? And if not, why not? But
All
this
sushi
would be
restaurants
good.
always have their like local rolls, which are.
I know, and this would be a great. Ooh, it's a draconic super fillet salmon roll.
I would absolutely get that.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
And it explains that they're a type of salmon whose long, sinuous body brings to mind the imaginary dragon. Only during their mating season do they gather swimming in schools of hundreds. Their flesh is considered far more tender and delicious than even beef tenderloin, and is thought to bring good fortune to those lucky enough to eat it. From the Encyclopedia of Rare and Unique Ingredients in East Blue, which, if that's a real book, I would like to own that.
It is not, but it should be.
Please, more merch. So they're like, "Yep, dragon salmon, but dressing and filleting it takes exacting skill. There isn't a soul on my island who could do it." So I bought a lot to practice, and then my friends laughed at me. It looks like they're right. Even if I hadn't gotten hurt, I could have never done it.
Oh, and then we got Sanji with the pupils. He's like, "What'd you say? No measly East Blue cook could ever? Excuse me? Excuse me? Not excuse me. You wait right there." And then Sanji is giving him the cigarette smoke right in the face. "You wait right there. As the former sous chef of a floating restaurant proud to sail the East Blue, I can't let that insult slide, Monsieur Rube." brings out the French. You know he's serious about that. And then we got the cheeky grin with the cigarette smoke. You know, this guy made me want to smoke cigarettes too.
We've had this discussion.
Listen,
Yeah.
smoking looks so cool
So
in anime.
cool.
Don't do it. It's bad.
I
It
know.
looks so
I
cool.
want to repost that video from Whole Cake Island of Sanji like getting rejected and then smoking up against a wall and looking extremely cool.
Yeah, I mean,
He was crying.
But it was cool.
They make it look extremely
still
cool.
look cool though.
Cool cry.
Even
It's cool to cry.
It's like the opposite.
Steve.
It's the opposite of ugly
Hey.
crying. Sanji cool cries.
Yeah, you cool
it's,
cries.
it's 2021. Crying's
Like
cool.
I want to like just get a cigarette
That's
in the
true.
rain and just try to light it as you know. It's just like not working. That looks really cool. So even like the lollipop, I would still take that.
Although, if I remember correctly, I think Ed's referring to a shot indoors.
Indoors.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
not the
Oh,
rain.
it's not the-
I found the tweet. I had tweeted it before.
By the way, the One Piece podcast does not endorse the cool crime of smoking.
Unless you do it very coolly.
Show us your smoking pics, kids. Anyways,
no,
no,
please
no.
do not.
Don't forget to use the hashtag smoking is
Hashtag
cool.
Smoking is cool.
By the One Piece podcast.
Endorsed.
Oh, we're gonna
Smoking's cool at gmail.com.
a whole It's gonna be a
Dear
whole
dog.
generation,
Mad.
60 years from now, who are like, "You did this to me." And I'm
I
gonna be
got
like, "Oh,
hooked
God."
That's
thanks
the
to
title.
One Piece. No, no, they didn't endorse it. I won't. Don't smoke, kids. It's bad. Anyways, besides, back to the manga. Besides, if it means boosting the happiness of a lovely lady, how could I not give a helping hand? I'll fillet the dragon salmon. You're gonna help. You're going home with your head held high, old man. Doom. Got the epic pose. Look at that. He's looking cooler than ever. I like this. And then this guy didn't even know he was a cook. You're a cook? Ha, ain't you full of yourself, kid? What can a novice like you do? Saying all the wrong words to Sanji. Or actually all the right words, I guess, right? Get Sanji cook for you for free. If you really are a cook, you know not just anyone can handle a dragon salmon. Only a first-rate chef on the Grand Line would even try. And then Sanji, well, hearing you put it that way, only gets me more fired up. And then to the tools, to the kitchen.
Here we go. Here we go. Now I get to pronounce things that are definitely French
I'm glad I didn't have
incorrectly.
this
I'm
page.
excited to hear this.
We randomly assigned these pages, by the way, so this should be fun. So Sanji takes out one of his, I assume, Japanese knives, which I did watch a 25-minute video on recently, and they are really cool. For cooking. I've been cooking a lot since 2020 started. Anyway, so Sanji tries to get things ready to... Oh, he cuts off the wings of the draconic super fillet
I
salmon.
think they're called fins.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
No, on
And
a dragon they're called wings. On a dragon salmon they're called fwings. Yes, that's what they're called. Fwings. Good save there, Zach. Anyway, first
Yes,
the
that'll do.
first the najori najwa. Next off with the ishali. Perfect.
I think you
well
pronounce
done,
no.
Fuck.
It's a hard C actually. I'm pretty sure.
Then the ekale.
I don't know.
Let's say it as wrong as possible. Then the branchy.
Those are the gills.
Well, the other one's the scales. It looks like, right?
Yeah.
This isn't important, right?
Then
Anyway.
the branchy.
This is so much better than reviewing the Ace novel.
So Ruibe looks at Sanji and says, "What? But how? With speed and accuracy? He's as fluid as the sea, flowing from one step to the next in perfect French." And continues thinking, the way he's moving, it's like a fish dancing, nay, flying on the cutting board for
Hold
a
on,
young
hold
kid.
on. What's up with this guy's earlobes?
I've been
Ed?
wondering about that too.
We're trying to be. This is a serious manga. Don't bring us in with ridiculous things like his insane
Like, it's-
earlobes.
It's the,
Um,
the size of his ears.
Oh, like,
Listen, haven't you ever
like
used
these are the
gauges
weirdest
too big?
earlobes in One Piece.
He's
Yeah.
wearing a
Enaru
fish skull.
is like, you call those earlobes?
It's related.
Anyway, for a young kid, he has unbelievable skill, but here he goes. He sticks the knife in the part of the fish you stick a knife in, and boom!
The body.
I should have drank before this, although I guess it would have been the same result.
Oh no, this is going great.
Anyway,
Drinks.
Sanji's fish explodes into his face. Nami looks somewhat alarmed by that. It looks like it exploded with water out from there because he looks wet
Like
in the next panel.
Fish guts, probably.
Yeah, it's like fish.
It would be,
guts
it'd
and shit.
be better if he's just covered in chum.
But so let's say he was covered in chum, then Nami would be like, "Yikes, are you okay? What was that? What was that explosion in your face? I should be more concerned than this."
He just gets attacked by seagulls.
And here's fish heads. Anyway, I won't sing the whole song. And he says, "There, see, that's the hardest part." What happens next, Ed?
So we get some exposition. Basically, the stomach is the most sensitive, and if you don't do it perfectly, it'll explode on you.
The stomach, that's what that's called.
Yeah, it's good. All its delicious flesh explodes into useless scraps. So, the guy, the father, anyway, whatever his name is. So he's sort
Daddy
of
the father.
Daddy.
It's Guy the father. It's his cousin.
Guy the father.
Ruibe.
Okay.
No, I like Guy the father. I think we should call him.
Ruibe
Wait, is he
from-
Guy Fieri the father or just the regular guy?
Guy the Fury.
Guy the Fieri. That explains why he couldn't cut this fish completely correctly. Sorry,
Yeah.
Guy.
But he's also like, I could never do that stuff either. Ruibe. Zoro with his swirly straw says, "Oh, why the attitude?" He's getting
He
upset.
does
on
have a
top-
swirly straw. That's
Three straw style.
Yeah.
okay,
yes.
I'll write that down.
Well, he could do that if he was wearing the foam dome.
I think Steve we might have
do
one
we
there.
know
yeah.
this woman cutting the fish? She looks familiar.
I think she's just someone.
I think it's
Yeah.
just supposed to be a random woman.
Maybe it's a character from Food Wars. Who knows?
I've watched Food Wars.
So he has to do it. Nami says he has to do it in a single cut, even when it's that long of a fish. And so Sanji picks up a new knife. He's bigger, longer knife, and Nami appropriately says, "Wow, that one is way longer than that other one." I can totally see that working. It's a Yanagiba knife. It's a tool specifically designed for cutting fish for sushi and sashimi, as Sanji explains. It's so he describes the slicing technique for making sashimi, and hey Nami, watch this. I'll be able to. He gets popped in the face again.
Gross. Steve.
Actually, I think the woman that's cutting it, I think it's the woman from the previous Shokugeki no Sanji.
You might be right.
Like her foodgasm form. Because she had like a watermelon like dress, like, from what I remember.
Anyway.
So Sanji's drenched. Now his hair is covering both his eyes, and that's when he's at his weakest, when both eyes are covered.
Wait, so you're saying his ultimate form, or when both eyes are uncovered, like his power would double?
2020
Yeah.
vision.
Or let's hope not.
It's like that. It's like the Mafia Time sketch that they had. Remember Mugiwara Theater?
Yeah.
If you only slick back half of your hair, do you only have half of your balls too?
Zoro and
Such a good
Sanji.
special.
Yeah.
So he says, "Damn it again," and we get a montage of him trying again. Damn it, as Nami and
Ribe?
Rui
Guy the father, Fieri.
Guy the father, Ruibe, and some mysterious stranger in a straw hat look on through the window as Sanji just
Wait, who is that guy? Who is
like
that man?
strokes his chin, trying to figure out what to do, and Nami's like, "Oh boy, I'd never seen Sanji look so scary in the kitchen before. I didn't realize it was this hard." And Ryubei, the father, is just like, just stop. He's like, quit trying, it's over. I was in over my head from the start with this dragon salmon idea. And now he's like, oh, wait a minute, don't give up yet. Sanji's trying his best for your daughter. And Ryubei says, some things are just plain impossible. Better to give up with grace. But Nami says, but it's for your daughter, right? Who you care about a lot. And he pulls out the photo again. He says,
Wait, how did he get it back?
He's like, no, you
Had
don't
to
get my
pry it from
picture of my
Sanji's
daughter
cult.
to masturbate
No, maybe-
to.
Maybe he just has like 30 copies of it just in his pocket.
But like Hughes from FMA.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, you bet I do.
Maybe he
she's
only
way
has
too-
2, and if he loses this one, he's screwed.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Says, she's way too precious, a treasure for a dad like me. I was so busy with work, I never did much for her when she was growing up. She was a frail little girl. Got sick real bad.
Oh, the ears are
more
genetic.
times than I
Cue
can
the
count.
violin music.
Mother C plays.
This feels like a very stereotypical Japanese anything story. Like, I'm so busy at work, couldn't.
I feel like every
I-
dad
oh, I-
is always too busy
Yeah,
for their
I guess.
daughters.
I should have been a better father.
But maybe this fish will make it up for all those lost
At the
years.
wedding. Last
At
time
the
you
wedding.
On this, the day of my daughter's wedding.
Give me a second. Sam, go ahead.
Ryubei, he would go to sleep each night, wondering if he'd wake up to find her dead. She would never say good morning to me again. Closing my eyes was terrifying, let me tell you that. And Zoro is listening to the story. He seems moved by it. He's gripping onto his sword, as you do.
I also want to be an absentee father one day.
I had wanted to do something special for her on her biggest day of her life, but hurting
On
myself
this, the
like
day
this.
of my daughter's wedding. For my daughter.
But hurting
daughter.
myself like this was the heavens telling me not to bother. That has to be it.
Oh, so it's Harrison Ford now? I want my daughter to have good fish. I want my family back.
Sorry for all the trouble I've caused you folks. I'll go tell your cook he can quit bothering now. And Zoro says, don't. What right do you have to talk, kid? It's my decision. You don't know a thing about this. And Zoro says, oh, I know plenty. Cooks and swordsmen may be totally different jobs, but we both make our living by the blade. When a man says he's got to cut something, he's not going to back down. And he's got his arm over the rail, looking real cool.
Showing that
Everyone's
one
seen-
eye he's going to lose later on.
It's got to get its screen time while it can.
Yeah, it definitely should.
Nami and Ryubei, they both seem kind of impressed by this. Zoro's looking into the kitchen. He's looking at Sanji's knives. He's thinking,
And
swords.
behind his sword.
But he's thinking about swords.
As you do.
It's the only brain cell he has.
Jill.
We go
And
back
breathing.
into the kitchen. Sanji's like, all my knives are in top condition. The fault isn't with my tools. He's like, what the heck do I have to do to fillet this? There has to be a way. This Yanagiba knife is probably too thin. It's not made for the same cuts that he needs through the filleting stage. The Dema knife is much too short. So he's like, length, sharpness, sturdiness. I need a blade with all three qualities for this to work. Completely coincidentally, Zoro just comes into frame.
I imagine him sliding in like a Scooby-Doo thing almost. Just like, whoop.
He's like,
Gee, gang.
it's like, still haven't done it, and after you did all that bragging, lame.
No,
Zoro.
it's French, LeMay.
Oh,
Sorry, you're right, because Zoro knows French.
What's that?
Sanji's language.
LeMay. What does LeMay mean, Stam?
It's a kind of fabric. It's like fancy like gold clothes.
So why
It's
would
like a
Zoro
shitty
be
plastic
mentioning?
fabric.
Why would he be mentioning that?
He's trying to speak Sanji's language.
The Klingons wore back in the
But
day.
he doesn't, it's like someone who doesn't know the language, so they just pretend.
Damn it, Ed! I get what you're referencing. Go ahead.
And Sanji's like, what are you even here for anyways? Are you that desperate for attention?
my
sorry,
attention.
I'm busy. Get out of my kitchen.
I want my juice.
Can I get a refill? Zoro's trying to find the soft drink machine. Or he just got
Out of,
lost.
out of swirly straws.
He needs
to
a green.
use
He
them
needs another melon soda.
He's like, no need to tell me twice. I've got my daily training to do. Just happen to take this detour into the kitchen.
For some reason, it's the only way I could get to my weight room, even though there's a much better way the other way. Go ahead.
Before I go,
We don't have a weight room on the going there, Zoro.
Right?
What have I been doing?
Gotta go.
he got lost. The one
Wait,
door
this-
on the married.
Wait, this isn't the bathroom? Shit.
Well, before I go
This whole time.
to the bathroom, I need to leave one of my swords here. And Sanji has like an epiphany. This here is a big boy sword. I'm not gonna make it through this line.
What a great line.
like it clicked with Jill, like as she was reading it.
This here is a big boy sword.
All right.
Maybe when you're older.
You want to put your hands on my big boy sword?
I won't listen to lame playboys
Lame.
who only know how to goof off. But I only know one
Playboy.
guy like that. And if I know if I left the sword in the same room as him, he wouldn't even have the guts to pick it up.
Ooh.
Ooh.
One more for this page. Oops, I dropped my big boy sword.
I don't know any playboys could pick it up and hand it back to me.
I wish some strong playboys could pick it up.
Some lame playboys.
Wow.
Oh man. Oh my gosh. So Sanji.
Guys, can we just do these chapters from now on?
I know, right? This is
Instead of-
great. I'm glad that you guys invited me to this one.
Go
So
ahead.
Sanji poking his nose where he don't belong, trying to hide his emotions. He's like, oh, the tool I need is just right here. How convenient. And then he's like, you know what? Smoking is bad. Let's get to work. And then, the coolest, I think it's like the coolest sword opening I've seen so far, like in One Piece. At least I've never like seen them like chink and then like that light glint like that, you know? This looks clean.
And it was done by Sanji.
Yeah, right. Ooh.
Yeah.
He makes everything
Turning
cool.
around for me. Okay. Got that big boy sword in his hands.
For someone so LeMay, he certainly makes it look cool.
Ooh.
Thank you, Codswell. And here it comes, straight from his crotch. He points the sword outward. Shing. Length. Sharpness also. Perfect. I'll show you what it could do, you LeMay swordsman. I mean, stupid swordsman. And here he goes. He comes in for the swing. Ed?
It's pronounced stapede.
It goes slice, and it slices. And everyone is surprised, and Sanji smiles. I did it!
Even the fish on top of Guy, the father's
Oh, wow.
head.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I thought that was part of his headband, but he's not even wearing the headband anymore.
Oh, wow.
No, I think it goes through the back. Like it goes around behind.
It's like
you can kind of
through
see it
the
a little
fish.
bit. Yeah. Doesn't
That's
really
weird.
make any sense. It's weird.
So, yeah, it looks like some nice filleted salmon.
Salmon,
And so we go to Ruibe's Island then on the next day.
Guy, that's Fieri Island. That's, what is Flavor Town. It's Flavor Town.
We found it.
Sorry, it took me a second to get there. Steve.
Am I still dreaming? Ooh, is that dragon salmon? I never thought I'd see one in person.
I
All
ordered the-
residents of-
What are they all wearing?
All the
Happy
residents
fish.
of Flavortown each wear
A
their
different
own
fish.
fish.
Or
crab.
crab.
At
Or
birth.
lobster.
Yeah, crab.
Crustacean
Yeah,
seafood.
crustaceans in general.
Crustaceans
At birth,
also
they're
fun.
given their headband and they have to wear it for the rest of their life.
That's amazing.
And they have to.
I don't want to be an octopus.
It decorates their graves when they die.
So
Oh,
Sanji's
man.
wedding special: dragon boat of dragon salmon sashimi. Ooh,
I wanted the
that sounds
Philadelphia
good.
roll.
Crap. Do you have California rolls?
Where's the avocado?
Where's the cream cheese?
Do you have cheeseburgers?
I
Yes,
don't
but
like
the buns are made of
sushi.
rice.
Oh God.
I had that
Tell us,
happen.
Ryubei, how the heck did you manage to fillet that thing? And Ryubei says, it wasn't me. I happened across an amazing man out at sea. And we get a quick flashback here. What? You're setting out already? At least let me introduce you to my friends and family on this, the day of my daughter's wedding. I owe you so much on this, the day of my daughter's wedding.
Get it.
Sanji says, sorry, we're pirates. Just a bunch of lawbreakers sailing through. We don't belong at a wedding banquet.
But I do
But if you don't
belong
mind,
holding
give your-
the cigarette in the coolest fashion possible.
Hold on. Gotta pose.
Pose.
Ugh.
But if you don't mind, give your daughter a message for me. Just tell her a fine gentleman gave you a little hand. And then we go back to
If
the
you know what I
present.
mean.
With a big boy sword.
My big boy hands.
Mommy, playboy.
So in the end, Ryubei says, so in the end, I didn't do anything at all. And his daughter says, what are you talking about, Dad? I have nothing but gratitude to that gentleman, of course, but you were the one who went through so much just to find the fish and bring it here.
This makes up for all those years of you not being
And we
there.
see, and we hear, thanks, Dad. I'm really happy. And we see that his daughter is truly happy on this, the day of daughter's wedding.
He like
Genetic
fades like a
heirlooms, too.
ghost.
My daughter is happy on
I
this.
think he's
the day of my daughter's
trembling. I
wedding.
think is
Now,
what's-
now I could go back to heaven. Now that I have found the
He's like fading away.
now that I
100
have
good
found the
deeds for Eddie
dragon fish.
Ryubei.
Also hear earlobes too.
Now I
It's
could go back to my diners, drive-ins, and dives.
But she doesn't have the headband.
Maybe it's just the men.
Well, that's why she's getting married. So that
Yeah,
He can
she
get
could
one.
get a headband. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Oh, that's it. It's Steve.
and then we go back to the going merry.
Yeah, chill. Sam, sorry. Go ahead, Sam.
And on the going merry, Sanji is triumphantly, walking out onto deck with, I guess, cutting boards of fish. All right, you guys, you were putting on a feast of our own. First up, succulent seared dragon salmon sushi. He shared a bunch of dragon salmon with us, so we're having a special full course dinner tonight, and we get the just meticulously drawn salmon. Luffy and Usopp still not getting their time in the limelight.
No, this is the creepiest paddle I've ever seen in One Piece.
Tongues out, eyes black. Yahoo! Yum yum yum! Whoa, the scent. It's just too much. My face is warped from joy and it won't go back.
Oh, that's steam. Is that steam?
Yeah.
Because I just thought Usopp was looking at his
Yeah,
hand and
that's
saying,
what I
I'm so messed up.
I thought they were tears. Like it's
Yeah,
so,
that's what I thought too when I
thought
first
that was
watched
drool.
End of Evangelion. I
No,
was
this,
very misinformed.
The artist of Food Wars likes to draw like scent and everything like that a lot.
Oh, it's I
gotta
thought it was
start
just
it Wednesdays.
saliva. Yeah, I didn't
pretty
know
good.
what. But I have to say that sushi does look legitimately
Spectacular.
great. Yeah, that is beautiful. Was there anything? Did you want to read that last panel there?
And then Nami says, "Oh, look, the fatty salmon. It's so tender it jiggles. Time to dig in."
Girls.
What a weird
Commence
way to put
the
that.
jiggling.
There you go.
Come on, y'all, eat the sushi.
We get
What's
some
the-
panels of Nami eating this delicious looking sushi. She's just chewing. And then in true Food Wars fashion, she pretty much just has an orgasm on screen.
Oh, this is very tame for Food Wars.
It absolutely is. She
though.
still has her clothes on, which is amazing for Food Wars.
But they're clinging
I think Oda
very
was-
well.
Oda must have been like, no, you're not doing that. Not my girl.
Oh, like he's above it.
Right.
this is more clothes than Oda
It's
usually
only
gives.
I may draw Nami nude.
The fish is so tender and melted into sweet waves the moment it touched my tongue, and the aroma the searing gave it is making me dizzy. And then she's like, "Oh, it's so luxuriant," and she keeps describing the beautiful sushi, which I would like to try.
Me too.
And then we go back to his daughter's wedding. And she's like, delicious.
On this day of her
On this day of her wedding.
Jesus Christ.
As Ryubei says, maybe, just maybe, I met a cook who one day become a legend. I mean, look at everyone. One bite of his dragon salmon has turned this entire banquet into heaven on earth. As we get like this scene of them all swimming around with the dragon salmon. Rumors say that somewhere on the Grand Line is a mermaid's paradise, and I bet it's something like this.
So beautiful. No art can do it justice as we look at it drawn really well.
Yeah.
Even Ryubei, the guy, the father, is back there, I think. Is that him in the back?
Yes,
Yeah.
that is him. Yeah,
100% him.
You know,
He's got the shell.
He's killing it.
That was my favorite part. That's my favorite part, maybe, of this whole
He's
thing.
looking
That's
killer.
hilarious.
I like it.
That's my favorite thing about Food Wars is that it's equal opportunity with the nudity.
Equal opportunity with the
Under
nudity.
the
I like it.
sea, Under the
Oh,
sea.
wow. This is really good.
There'll be
You know
no
what?
big
Even
horse.
even Zoro's eating. Well, he didn't say it's good, but he says he felt that one as he drinks some beer. Maybe he feels the beer or he feels the salmon.
He felt it in his
he
heart.
he had to do that discreetly.
Munch,
I
munch.
think he went
He's
through.
gonna
like-
Gonna go
complimenting-
change.
Good.
He's complimenting Sanji with plausible deniability.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
But I do want to drink some beer like that, though. Look at that, like how he exhales when he says he felt that one. That's how you know it's some good beer right there.
He drinks beer in the manliest way possible. And you hear everyone laughing. I assume Luffy involved. I can't stop eating, as if they're under some sort of literal spell. And Sanji, in the coolest way possible, by pointing a cigarette at the screen. Don't smoke, kids. It's damn good, ain't it? He says, whipping the cigarette toward us, burning the reader's face in the process with coolness. Anyway, it's now night, and there's plenty more where that came from. So eat up, and they eat sushi for days and days. And the sun rises the next morning, and whip. Here comes the tablecloth, I guess, that they have on the Mary. And he thinks, last night's dishes turned out perfectly, if I do say so myself, and I don't say it because I'm thinking it. Best of all, Nami seemed to love them. What a great experience to have right before we dive into the Grand Line. What a great way to specifically say when this may have happened. And Ed, what happens at the end?
Yes. So he walks out onto the deck and thinking, I never thought I'd get to work with dragon salmon. But then he is shocked by the sight of Zoro playing with his big boy sword. Cleaning it, I suppose. If someone walked in, I would say I was cleaning it.
I am done here.
So they share knowing gazes, and yeah. So Zoro stands up. He's like, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Give me a handful of salt. Salt with 4. Yeah, certain gutter-minded cook's dirty thoughts might have gotten all over my sword. How did they end up there? Anyway, excuse me? Who's going to give any of our precious salt to you, huh? Not me. Why don't you just swish it around in the ocean instead, huh? Plenty of salt there, bitch.
I think I know where the salt is.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
And Nami's like, ugh, man. Which, I mean, kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Ugh, men. That's why I prefer women. Ugh. And then
Is there anything on that newspaper? I can't read it.
and then the news crew winks at the screen, and that's the end. As a big circle of black goes over, and that's all, folks.
Actually, that headline that might be Captain Morgan's base, right?
Let me see.
Oh, it looks like a marine. Or it looks like Morgan's base.
That's what he
That's
said.
what I said.
You said Morgan's, and I thought Big News Morgan.
The better
You know,
Morgan.
the better Morgan.
And I was like, no, it's not that guy. It's the other guy. And then
No,
I was
he lives in
thinking
a
about it.
blimp. This is clearly a Navy base.
I mean, that's what I was trying to say. I don't-
So that's going to do it for Shokugeki no Sanji. What did you guys think of this chapter, Jill?
I think they ship fucking Zoro and Sanji. There's too much subtext in this.
I don't know if that's subtext if it just says it. That's regular text. Sam, what do you think of
Those are
this? Okay, cool. That was detailed. God's will thoughts.
I want a big boy sword now.
Don't we all? Do you want Zoro's big boy sword?
Yeah. Yeah.
Be careful how you answer that question. A lot of
Do you
implication.
want to have it or do you want to have it?
Ooh. Just as long as he looks at me when.
I love the little flavor you put on that second half.
I'm still just trying to decide which one I meant by which.
Oh, we all know.
No one really knows.
I know the one that you want. I know the one that I want, and I want that one.
I feel like I'm in an episode of Aqua Teen right now. Steve, your thoughts?
Hated it. No, this was. I enjoyed reading it even before the podcast. I think it was just a lot of fun. Some beautiful art. Some multiple entendres. I enjoyed it even more reading with you guys. I'm glad we brought this tradition back.
Tradition. Ed, thoughts?
Yeah, I like these more than the Boichi Zoro stories.
Oh, yeah.
All the characters whose muscles are about to burst out of their skin. Ugh.
or cry gallons of thick water.
I don't know, the food looked very good, and I don't know, it was very homoerotic. Nothing wrong with that.
Homoerotic. What was that from? I don't even remember.
I think you're thinking of Futurama with Zap Brannigan.
Oh,
Erotic.
yes, erotic. That is fun. I have a lot of Futurama on the brain this week for some reason. Yeah, I like this one a hell of a lot more. I did not love the first one, as you may remember, Steve.
Oh, we know. You should all listen to Red Lips F, the amazing podcast episode that Zach did not want to be there for.
I did not.
That episode is the equivalent of like Zach taking the kids to Chuck E. Cheese and he has nothing to do.
He's in the corner eating Chuck E. Cheese pizza, drinking a beer, and we're like,
Yeah.
at the games.
And we're like, Zach, can I have more tokens?
This one I was playing skee ball with you guys.
I just
think.
need 6,000 more tickets, and I get the dolphin.
Jill, you're not getting the dolphin. No, this was a very funny one, and I thought it was a lot better because it's the Straw Hats, and I think we've discussed that like the one thing we wish we could see more in One Piece is just the crew being the crew, and hanging out. And we kind of get that here. We got, there's that little story with Guy Fieri there, but, they go to Flavor Town and there's nothing else that really needs to be said there. I do want to give a shout out to the translator and letterer here, Sarah Lindsay and Adrian Beck. I saw one of them. I think it was one of their first credits, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, I think they did a really good job here. I thought the translation was good, and also the visuals were really good, and the euphemisms were really good. The sushi looked especially good, and now I just miss Japan and Japanese sushi, and that's all I'm thinking about. Any other thoughts? Otherwise, we should talk about the anime episode.
All right.
I guess we'll talk about the real Morgans, the one who does the big news.
This is the anime recap for episode 957. Big news, an incident that will affect the 7 warlords. I'm your host Sam, and today with me we have an assortment of guests. We don't have Ed. We kicked him off.
What?
But as you can hear, we do have Zach.
We abolished Ed's role in the anime recap.
No, it's in order to replace Ed, you need at least 3 other people.
He's been impeached.
We abolished the Edward system.
The Edwardian.
The 7 Edwards.
The 7 Ed. Oh, I get it now. I'm getting it now.
Okay.
But then the great powers of the One Piece podcast will collapse without Ed here. Anyway, I'm
He was
done.
he was one of the three powers.
He was one of the three powers, but instead it's me, Jill, and Steve. Who I've
Yeah,
accidentally
you're the new
introduced for
third
you.
power. You're the fourth
Thanks
power.
Ah.
Thanks for doing all our introductions for us, Zach.
We're the
You know-
3-7 warlords.
Speaking of, we have Zach Logan.
Hi, my name is Zach Logan. That's all I have.
We
to say.
have we have Steve Yurko, who's an animator on stuff.
I don't animate, I just storyboard, but I'm a proud member.
He
of the
storyboards on stuff.
I'm a proud member of the Sanji Bukai.
Ah.
And
Writing
of
that down.
course, we have our beloved friend Jill.
Yes. Hello.
Hi, Jill. Are you
Hi.
also part of the Sanji Bukai?
Yeah,
Well,
there's three of us.
yeah. So, San. There's 3.
Oh, I get it.
Welcome to the party,
This-
Zach. Glad you made it.
The three, is it the three Sanjis of the sea?
3 Sanjis of the sea.
Well, I don't know that as we'll find out in the next segment. There's actually 5 Sanjis.
Go ahead, Sam.
How
think
can
you broke him.
I don't-
That was wow.
I'm sorry to delay discussion on this anime recap.
It's a
because
very
if
good
any
episode.
If any episode deserves an anime recap, it's this one.
Wait, Sam is still broken. So give him a minute to
2021
pull
energy.
himself back together.
Big episode this week. Very fancy anime episode that we were recapping this week. And it opens with a cold open. We have Fujitora's ship sailing his way toward nearby the entrance of the New World. And we get some flashbacks to when Fujitora was telling Doflamingo that he wants to abolish the Seven Warlord system. And I think all these Dressrosa flashbacks are reused, unlike pretty much the entire rest of the episode, which goes completely the reanimated route. Anyway, that brings us to the title card of the episode, which starts at 4 minutes and 36 seconds.
By the way, I forgot how insanely gritty Fujitora's voice is. Like, it is gravel running across gravel. It's so
It's
deep.
pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's just so much. I forgot.
We learn that the reverie has ended in confusion and that most of the attendants have gone home, which brings us to Garp, who has escorted the Ryugu Kingdom royal family back to Fishman Island, and he's kind of chilling there, accepting a cup of tea as they vaguely discuss world events.
Here's my question. That cup of tea, was it in the bubble before he took it? Or is it just a cup filled with seawater?
Jill, I'm glad you and I had the same instinctive reaction to wonder that. I even rewound it. I think it's actually done a little bit better in the manga. Either you could see Garp's hand protruding out of the bubble to start to grab it, but I would just assume that the cup of tea was presented to him inside a bubble.
So I'm also wondering, so would tea sink below seawater? Is it heavier? Sam, do you have the physics
Why do the mer
of
people
that here?
drink?
Well, if it's hot tea, heat rises.
Oh, that's true. Heat does rise.
But is it hot
Maybe it's
tea?
cold
Do we
tea. It
even
might be
know?
cold tea.
It's iced tea.
Yeah.
Iced tea is
Well, then-
okay.
I'm guessing tea is probably denser than water, right?
I don't
Wait.
think
But
so.
the ice
question
cubes,
is salt water.
float, Jill. Ice cubes float. So
They have buoyancy.
yeah, but he was using a teacup,
It
so
would-
it has to be hot.
If
tea.
it was fresh water, it would rise, right?
I feel so bad because this was such a cool episode, and we're just still on this.
I love that this is what we're talking about.
This is
This
But it
has
is a-
just been the energy on the podcast.
it is a
So-
legitimate question though, and I know we have people out there with actual expertise that could definitely answer it. But anyway,
Imagine-
since we can't,
He
Sam,
just takes
continue.
a sip and spits it out.
Oh, it's seawater. What did I expect? I don't know. Oh,
No, it's
So basically,
it's-
just
there's
like right out
nothing
the
in
gate.
there. You just
Right out the gate, this is an extraordinarily well-directed episode.
yes.
Just the way the even this like mostly exposition scene just sort of unfolds and feels alive, and you're introducing characters in fun ways. Like Shirahoshi just kind of like leans into frame, and
There she is.
yeah, there she is. It's her.
Just imagine Jill doing the Leonardo DiCaprio point.
Neptune's inviting Garp to stay as long as he needs to, but Garp has things he's got to worry about on the surface world because the Reverie basically just blew up, and the world is in chaos now. Did anyone else notice that Garp's voice actor seems to be slowing down a bit?
I noticed it felt a little different. I don't know.
He sounds like he's getting up there.
I mean, I'm sure he is.
Garp is just tired.
What's his name again? I should probably look.
I wouldn't know the guys.
Yeah, I'm not Ed. None of us could replace Ed, as we discussed earlier.
Well, also, I noticed because in the manga, his suit's colored in black, but in the anime, it just still has the same old Garp.
Oh, interesting.
Suit. I just thought that was an interesting choice.
He is 60. He's only 60. That
maybe he was tired that day.
Yeah. To be fair, he probably recorded this in the year 2020, so who knows the circumstances in which it was recorded.
They discuss how kingdoms can't get along because of differences in wealth and religion. Even just saying, "Oh, let's all get along," it doesn't really mean a whole lot. They'll all shake hands and step on each other's feet. We have a great shot where Garp just steps forward and poses dramatically, and his cape flutters up and lowers just in time for the justice symbol on his back to reveal itself. And he's telling them that something has happened regarding Alabasta, and we have a close-up of Shirahoshi worrying about her new friend Vivi. We have a busy newsroom. I wonder who this place belongs to.
I thought this was the nicest looking and sounding part of the episode.
It looked fantastic.
Yeah.
This first shot where it's clearly it's a image of Sabo on the bulletin board, and
it's streaked out with a light glare or something, and the camera's pushing it in, and you're focusing on it because it's the center of the frame, and then from out of frame, Morgan's bird hand just slams in,
even before that, just the scene of just the other journalists just walking by and handing each other stuff. It doesn't look like anything in the One Piece TV anime. I've never seen characters move like that before. It that just one scene. If the Morgan scene was just that truck in, I'd have been like, this shot is amazing. When I first saw that, I was hooked. I'm like, whoa, these characters are moving just in such an amazing way I've never seen before.
I mean, this is an easy hyperbole, but it does have that kind of Ghibli vibe of watching the Sky Pirates and Castle in the Sky, just kind of goofing off in the background.
Well, I'll add it. Something of it reminded me when we went to the Ghibli Museum, just seeing the offices. I don't know if you remember, Steve, just all the paperwork and just all that, and just you could feel the energy of that room. And I feel like you really can here. It was super cool, and I was not expecting something like that.
And we got this. I also like the shot of Morgan's, who's dramatically up in the foreground at kind of almost in a fisheye lens. And one of the stylistic choices in the episode is that everyone's kind of almost overcast in shadow, and they're defined by these very cool rim lights. And you've got Morgan's, who's kind of stretching in the background and moving between different segments of the frame, and you've got his whole office behind him and his assistants all tapping away at the desks, all chirping in on the conversation. Someone has died. Obituaries sell papers, and we have the marine photographer formerly known as Attach is appearing at his side and delivering a government letter to Morgan's, and it's a big check. The government is asking Morgan's to manipulate information, but Morgan's refuses because he's a renegade that way. He just kind of does what he pleases. When he's got a big story, he's going to run with it. But then it turns out it was not Attached this whole time. It was just a government who pulls off his a face mask, a Mission Impossible. Cypher Pole Zero.
No, not Zero. Cypher Pole something.
Just Cypher Pole some kind.
Aegis Zero.
No, it's not Aegis Zero.
They don't specify which segment.
No, they just say Cypher Pole. Yeah.
Okay.
There's no reason to think it's Zero.
I do like the super goofy like photographer, and then like pulls it off and it's just like a stoic government guy. Like
It's great.
got the cool music. I think the thing, Jill, you were noticing this is probably Stampede music.
Yeah. I think it's used in Stampede when the Kid Pirates show up. Is that
Or
what
it's
I'm
like
thinking of?
the opening montage, or
Oh,
one of the
yeah,
early
that-
montages, I think.
Yeah,
I
I
think you're
haven't
right.
used. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I hear a lot of like Strong World music in One Piece anime nowadays, but I don't think I've heard Stampede music before.
This is the first time I could recall hearing Stampede music.
Yeah, they usually fold it in after like a year or so.
No, Strong World they did
Or
at like the same
Stampede.
time.
Did
I
say
remember.
Strong World?
No, I was just saying for Strong World, I remember it was coming out at the same time as Marineford, and Marineford has a lot of Strong World music in it, if I recall correctly. So I don't. That's sometimes they don't wait. The Gold they couldn't because it was differently licensed. Unfortunately, because I love the Gold soundtrack, but yeah.
Yeah, so we get a cool, like, hectic, like, half of an action scene as like, you know, someone's pulled a gun, everyone's going crazy. Morgan's puts
The
his dukes
shot
up.
from the Cypher Pole agent's like point of view, pointing the gun, and you get that one shot where it's just worm's eye view. It's on the floor, and the
Yeah.
journalists are like running away. Amazing.
Yeah.
It's
The composition
And
of
Morgan's
this
is-
episode is so good.
I think more importantly, and Steve could correct me or add to this, I'm sure, but the acting and the directing specifically in that scene, I've learned a lot more about animation directing from like how Brian's talked about it, but like you really, that's like a completely different level of skill, and you really see it, especially in that big Morgan scene, and with the acting of Morgan's in particular, he even walks like a chicken.
Morgan's eyes, like, light up with blue flames
Yeah, it's
as he
gorgeous.
pummels the agent.
I
And-
would just watch a whole series about Morgans. I think we talk about what spin-off we'd like to watch, and
Yeah, especially after this scene. I don't know. I
Yeah,
would love
yeah.
to see Morgan's around in his like balloon with all his
oh
the
my
members of the World
God.
Economic Journal. It'd be so good.
There's a reason
Yes.
he's my favorite. He's great.
So he decides that they need to relocate their base, and it turns out that they live in just a big giant teapot hot air balloon thing, and it lifts up. And as they're traveling, like, Morgan's is kind of shifting off into like one of the back rooms or something where there's like this cool like red light, and he's like bending over backwards, giving himself like half of
probably where they
a
develop
villain
photos.
montage.
yeah.
Huh? Oh yeah, that's probably where
yeah.
that's right. It's like a red
Wow,
room.
yeah.
Or it's a
Dark
that's
room,
the-
dark
room,
room.
yeah.
And like I love it because he's, you know, Morgan's is kind of like a pirate, right? Like
Yeah.
he's it's kind of just like the joy and excitement of kind of deciding for yourself how you're gonna impact the world.
We'd
And
call him like a
yeah.
tweener because he's not one of the
He's
heroes.
an influencer.
but- oh, God.
Oh God, get her out of here.
I like that.
and he's like he's given like what like it's presented almost like as a big scary villain speech, but you're kind of on his side. You kind of think he's cool.
Oh yeah. Well,
Also,
it's
he's a
it's
giant
this kind of.
bird.
He is a giant bird, and he's automatically cool because he's a giant bird. All big birds are great, but
As he brags about sometimes lying in the news.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He's like a really good gray area character because he's not on our side. He's not on his own side. And
Yeah,
sometimes it's good for us, and sometimes it's not.
He's a pirate basically.
I like that. Even though I
He's
know
an
it stands for
X-Factor.
World Economic Journal, I just like sing that blue and say "We News."
We knew.
I was like, "Yeah, you news."
And
Everyone
of his
Force
ass-
Away just plays the Wii Sports music.
one of his assistants like comes up to him and is telling him that apparently Wapple has information he's looking to leak.
Although they say
Which
Drum
I forgot
Kingdom and
about.
not Evil Drum Kingdom, which is his actual
yeah, I guess.
kingdom. Yeah,
I mean, the original Drum Kingdom isn't Drum Kingdom anymore. So.
that's true. It's the Cherry Blossom, right?
Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah.
it's called.
They won't give up the rights.
They keep taking down Wapple's tweets. It's
They keep
really
sending
weird.
copyright strikes.
I know. Oh jeez.
So is this supposed
This
to be
universe,
Alabasta,
give me
the
your
place we?
phone.
Oh
Is
my
this supposed to be
God.
Alabasta with the where everyone's
I
like kind
think
of
so.
Looks like
I
it.
think so. Yeah.
yeah? Because there's some people who don't quite look like Alabasta. I don't remember Alabasta
Well,
having like
you
all those
wouldn't know
cactuses.
because the way it's
or cacti. I'm sorry.
The way it's shot, the way the compositions are set up, we've never seen Alabasta like this before.
That's true.
It's,
Right.
Like, one of the crazy things about this episode is how much it uses lighting to its
Mhm.
Yep.
benefit.
Well, the directing, right? Isn't that like kind of what it is also? Like
Well, there's so
knowing
many
where
things, but
everything
just-
is placed. Yeah, it's really
just
cool.
like
And
a
like
light
the-
source too. There's so many light sources that like it's just like that's not common in an episode of One Piece.
Yeah, a lot of atmospheric lighting, a lot of really interesting like rhythmic transitions from
Yes.
scene to scene. Like
Going through the floor and the wall and the sky and like
And
Yeah,
revisiting
in this
scenes
case-
too, yeah.
yeah.
like in this case, like here's just the whole story in just like 3-4 beats, right? Like the seagull based news company is going up in the air and their birds are flying to send off to the news. We cut to a completely different country where the birds are flying overhead, dropping the newspapers. You got a little girl who's like looking up in awe, like this is so cool. But then she looks into another room and then her parents are crying because the news was traumatic. Like it's just like bam, 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 and everything like just cleanly connects to everything else. It's
It's
really
been
amazing.
said, but I feel like definitely movie level. Not to cut ahead of things, but most of this episode I think is at least movie level directing at least. Go ahead. Sorry.
And then we move to the Kamabaka Queendom, where we have like Ivankov, Dragon, Koala, and all the revolutionaries. They're all reacting to the news. There is some news about Sabo that is bad news, and they are kind of worried about him.
Dragon's face is always the same. Even when he's
He
worried,
He was
he's
a
just
lot
like,
more worried here than he's ever looked.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, a lot
Yeah,
has been
but-
happening. He had to leave Baldigo and everything, so he's been having
He's
quite a
stressed.
time.
He's stressed. It's not easy to run
Yeah.
a revolution.
We have
Especially when- yeah.
Makuno is crying while her baby is just like playing in the foreground. Like again, like we've got the adult crying, the child who like just doesn't really care or have that much awareness of world events. Just like
Did
a
you
lot of
talk
like
about
really
Stelly?
cool.
I feel like we didn't talk about Stella.
I don't think I have him in my notes.
Oh, how did you not even talk about Stella? No, go ahead. I don't care.
But also just like I think another like kind of filmic strength of this whole episode is like how much foreground background playing there is. Like there's
Yeah.
always something going on in the foreground, something going on in the background, like kind of telling two contrasting stories, Dead On and her bandits are crying
I
over
love
Sabo again.
We
Impel
just found out
down.
He was alive.
Yeah.
Just found out he's alive, just to learn he's dead. Impel down. Doflamingo seems delighted by the news. Just never a boring day. When
God, he like when he knocks his head back or his body back to cackle, there's this loud thud.
I thought the same
wall. The person-
thing.
Well, the long
but
fade out
maybe-
with his sunglasses too is really cool. I think that's a really nice touch. I mean, this episode is all like exposition if you think about it, but wow, does it like
Yeah.
keep
It
going? Yeah, I
sings.
don't mean to. Yeah, it does. It does.
we have Blackbeard on Full Lead Island, and we're like panning across all of his cronies, and he's like, "Oh
God.
yes, the world's in chaos. Let's take it for ourselves. Whatever it may be." Now we're back into the current story, as the narrator tells us. We're in the outskirts of Ebisu Town, and somebody is calling Kobe on the phone. Obviously, like anybody with 2 brain cells can tell that it's Drake, but just for style points, the camera's like being coy about looking him in the eye right now. So it's just kind of, the back of Drake's head or Drake's feet or whatever. He's calling Kobe. Why would he be calling Kobe of all people?
So they
have
can
their
gossip
little-
about Luffy again.
So they can have their own
Don't you
little
love Luffy? Oh, Luffy's great.
password exchange like C and Fog. And then we get this really awesome like splash screen. Deus Drake, Captain of SWORD, Navy HQ, Top Secret Special Force. And it's a close-up on Drake's. This is the full formal reveal that Drake is working with the Marines, or that he was a Marine this whole time. And we also get to see, because, we have the title cards for the character names and stuff. And in this episode, they're kind of like the opacity is a little down. They're like almost like fluorescent colors, like pink and red, and it's just not like quite the usual style. That brings us to the eye catch of the episode. We come back, Kobe and Drake are talking about Kaido and Big Mom, and Kobe's just going on a whole spiel about like, man, yeah, Kaido and Big Mom, what a power, scary duo they are. It's like, good thing that they're at each other's throats and, will likely kill each other. And then that's when Drake has to give them the bad news that they're working together. Drake has also saw Cypher Pole Zero somewhere in the capital, and that worries him. He's like, uh-oh, what's the world government? We're the world government. Why are these world government guys doing business in the capital? That seems trouble. We learn that Kobe is on his way to capture Boa Hancock, which we can think to the cold open, where we're supposed to be thinking about the abolishment of the Seven Warlords. Now we get a montage of like townspeople all over the world cheering about pirates being taken down. But they're also having like a little bit of a debate with each other, like, I thought the warlords did a good job, or like just all on different ends of the propaganda. The narrator goes on a whole spiel about who the Seven Warlords are. We get like a recap of like a very brief recap of Alabasta and Crocodile. We pan up
get
these
some
like cool
great animation of Crocodile doing like an attack.
Do they use? Is this reused footage from movie 8 though?
It might be, or no. It's where is it from? Like it is reused.
It's from. I think it's from Reverie.
I think you're right.
Oh yeah.
No, but this style looks so movie 8ish.
But
it's not
they reanimated
quite.
it for
It's not quite.
Reverie. Yeah, it's
yeah.
not.
I think it's Reverie.
But yeah, I think they reused that for Crocodile, though. Like the shot of him doing like the attack, just like the new animation. Y'all know what it is, not the one with when he's fighting Luffy. Looks amazing.
Yeah.
Then it cuts to Jinbei and
Blackbeard. The Blackbeard one is super cool too.
Yeah. So let's see here. I'm gotta refine my place in the notes. So we got talking about Alabasta, Crocodile's defeat. So it's basically the narrator's describing like who's entered, who's left, who's the whole thing about the Seven Warlords.
To be fair, it can be confusing.
Yeah, it is pretty confusing if you're not like us.
Yeah, if you're not us.
And like I think that this, because it's just retelling old story, but I feel like this sequence is where like the directing chops are at their strongest even.
Well, if you compare this to Reverie, which is straight up just 5 episodes of completely showing old animation and the story, this is so good.
Yeah, it's just so clean, just telling the audience, just as much as they need to know in case they don't have the context.
I mean, this is also the first time the new directing team is like handling this kind of old content, right? So they get to like, so it's almost like they get to be creative and put their own spin on all of these iconic scenes. It's you could really tell that they are like, I feel the enjoyment behind it. It's like, oh, I get to redo this scene in Marineford or this scene in.
And I love the combination of like still images that were like we're panning up the group shot of Baroque works, but then you've got like a very well animated Crocodile like pulling the strings at the top. I mean, Crocodile's not the string puller, but you know what I mean. And so basically, Crocodile.
Are you going in order of warlords? Because
I've got like comments on basically.
Sure.
Crocodile got defeated, and then he was replaced by Blackbeard, and then they go to Marineford, got this cool shot of Whitebeard's back, and then Blackbeard like jumps into frame. Like again, that's so clean. Like they introduced Whitebeard so they could say, oh yeah, Blackbeard was a former Whitebeard commander, but now he's the one who like took over Whitebeard's place. Which they don't even have to say. Like that's communicated visually, and then they can just say, oh yeah, and then Blackbeard joined the Warlords, but then resigned. Then we have
the Blackbeard animation. I think it might be CG.
You think so?
The way the way his clothes are fluttering, that it looks like CG to me. And it's like the one knock on it is he kind of holds that one pose. It's really awkward before he strikes like the air and does like the earthquake. I think it feels like a 3D animation that they just paused. It just I don't know.
It did stick out to me. I don't know if it like triggered the 3D in my brain, but
Well, the actual shatter looks like a JoJo kind of CG thing almost. I'm like, I was looking at it in slow motion, but I know what you mean there, Steve.
And then they explain, Jinbei also resigned, and we're getting the prison shot, which again, like really interesting lighting.
Super cool. Jinbei's cool.
And then Gecko Moria of Thriller Bark, we get the cool Thriller Bark shot. And
except Absalom is there, so
yeah. Well, Gecko Moria did not resign. He got kicked out. He was attacked by Doflamingo and removed. And that segues perfectly into by the way, Doflamingo is one of the warlords.
It was
the sequence of Doflamingo jumping in to sit down as the pacifistas attack Moria.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he jumps up in the air and you see all the strings and it's just dark and red, and then he sits in with the Don Quixote family.
Yes.
Oh,
and
that's so cool.
And then that's a very clean segue to them saying, Doflamingo, he ruled Dressrosa, but then he got kicked out of the Warlords.
No, but his glass, his glasses break, and to show that that's super cool and subtle.
Yeah, it's like visually symbolic of Luffy coming in to defeat him, because you get the we get the Don Quixote family group shot. Cameron pulls in on Doflamingo. He's got his shit-eating grin, he's controlling the world, and then just as the narrator's about to explain, and then he lost his warlord position.
It's like the narrator steals it from him. It's like, damn you, narrator.
His glasses shatter, and then that transitions perfectly into the Straw Hats. Like they're all in their Dressrosa duds, and they're doing the cool group pose, and the narrator's explaining Straw Hats defeated Doflamingo, and then, but it's a still group shot. And then we push in on Law, who's like kind of just chilling out in the background.
As he does.
And the narrator's like, and Law was a warlord who, lost his role because he teamed up with Luffy. And I love this effect where it's, we got the still group shot. We push in on Law. It's like the group shot is still frozen, but then Law just as the narrator mentions him, Law nudges and moves and steps into action.
So cool.
I love the way
it's almost
really
like he's... Yeah. It's like he's Quicksilver, moving really fast, and the world's frozen.
I love the way that was done, because when they had that group shot, I was thinking where's Law? Because I straight up forgot that he was a warlord at one point, but I figured he'd be part of it, and then they zoom right in on him. It's so good.
I hate to interrupt, but I feel like maybe the reason this episode looks good is that this is such a good tutorial on the One Piece world that maybe that Toei is even planning on using this to kind of explain things in the future. Let's put money into this because we will use this again and again and again, maybe for, future Tokyo Tower or whatever it is, I don't know, maybe because it's great. Sorry, go ahead, Sam.
And then the narrator goes on to explain, for the four emperors, the navy, and the warlords are considered to be the three powers. Which is why the warlords being abolished is such a big deal. But the Nefertari...
by the way, it says 4 emperors in big letters, not Yonko or Shishibukai. 7 warlords of the sea in big letters.
Oh, God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, just for those people who are still stubborn about it, it is there in the anime even. I mean, it's there in the manga too, but I'm the 6th fourth emperor.
Well, I'm still part of the Sanji Bukai, so I don't know.
Oh, okay, well, yeah.
Rattling on about.
I'm in the three Sanjis of the sea. Go ahead.
And then the narrator explains that because the Nefertari and Riku families had their kingdoms affected by warlords, they were able to sort of present the issue to the Reverie, and then that was when the abolishment was agreed upon.
Also, that whole scene's super cool where they get up they're in stills and they get up with the sword and everything for both of them.
And they age too. Yeah.
And they age. And even the map, it's all so well done, I think. Go ahead.
We have the Marines at Empty Bluff Island ready to capture Buggy, who's
is a Steven name, by the way, that I love. Go ahead.
Yeah. Same with Full of Lead.
Yeah, full of too. Yeah.
And his crew are all cowering under his his blanket thing that he uses. We have we're now cutting around to the current the current warlords reacting to the Marines showing up and kicking them out, and We've got Weevil and his mother. They're being surrounded. We have
one
Mihawk's castle.
cares.
We don't see Mihawk quite yet, but we do see him like drawing his sword as there's like this barrage of sirens outside his castle, and
Maybe now's
it's
a
all
good
dark
time to
and
point this out. Yeah, the passage of time is shown in this episode because it starts in the morning or in the daytime, and as it goes on, it goes to dusk.
I was wondering how much of that was like different time zones in the Grand Line.
Yeah, do we have a time zone list for the Grand Line for who's in what time zone?
It would have to be pretty broad, right?
Yeah, I would assume. I don't know. I assume that works the same way there. Sun, you know.
And the Amazons are worrying about the Marines, but then they turn and like Hancock does just this cool strut where she
with the
like
snake.
Steps and then turns to the camera, and like the camera like cuts to a close up of her like just as her hair is doing this cool like defying gravity thing.
It's not fair because I know you're going to get to this in a second, but Buggy looks cool, and that's not allowed.
Yeah, Buggy looks cool. He's riling his men up. He's like
Matt Cohen would argue with you.
I know. Okay.
It's like we're going down fighting, and then we get various splash screens of all the warlords with their big title cards. We've got Buggy. We've got Weevil. We go to Mihawk again, who's in his little boat. He's like, I feel tremors of excitement. It's been a long time since I've been the one chased. And then it comes back to Hancock, who's like, she got kind of interrupted by the montage earlier where she was telling her women, like, it's like, you know, the Marines, they've forgotten one thing. We became warlords because we're strong. And that's why she's confident that they can fight the Marines off. And Buggy is getting ready for a fight, but then as the to be continued card comes in, he's like also talking about how he just wants to get out of there.
Yeah.
General thoughts on this episode, you guys?
May I?
Yeah, please.
Please.
I said this on Twitter. I'll say it again. If it's not one of, it's certainly the best episode of the entire series.
Yeah,
I did the last anime recap with Sam before this, and I remember talking about that next episode preview. Looks like there's gonna be some nice stuff in there. Holy crap! I was not I was expecting. Oh, maybe there'll be some like nice animation here and there. Just this episode hit everything out of the park. And I said like direction, composition, everything from the lighting, just the animation, just the way the characters acted, like their body language was just something else, and just the way it transitioned, the way it showed the passage of time. This looks better than some of the movies. This episode,
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Not even. Yeah, it looks better than a bunch of the movies.
I'm just starting the conversation. I'm saying like I am just like I'm just in awe with how much I love this episode. I've already watched it twice, and I probably will watch it again.
Same.
I meant to bring this up at the beginning of the recap. This episode was directed by Megumi Ishitani, which people on Twitter know staff much better than I do. But like when they said that name, I immediately recognized it because she directed the one of the early Wano episodes where we meet Tama. And I remember gushing about that episode too.
Yeah.
I remember gushing about that episode as well. Like that was easily one of the best episodes I ever got to like recap or review. And I remember distinctly just thinking like this Megumi Ishitani, like she's got it, like capital I it.
She's got it.
I'll save the rest of my thoughts until Jill, Zach.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, you guys. I'll chime in a little later.
Jill, do you want to go first? I talk a lot.
A lot of it's what everyone's saying. Just absolutely blown away by this episode. Easily movie quality, better than some of them. It was that scene with the news blimp is just phenomenal. Every bit of it, every shot in that is done so well. I mean, Morgan's is fantastic, and he, like, considering he's just a giant bird, they've made him so expressive. And I loved, and normally if it's like, okay, this is an episode where they're going over things I already know, they're going through like the warlords and stuff, but it's good for like the everyday fan. My God, they made it so good to watch that even someone who knows every bit of it like we do, it's just a pleasure to watch it go through, literally just listing off these characters and their histories. But it's fantastic.
Oh, I found
Yeah,
sheet.
sorry to butt in
Go
real
ahead.
quick. Just it's night and day comparing to what the Reverie episodes
Oh my
did.
God, yeah.
And those were tough to get through.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them were just like when they're like, "Oh, hey, we'll finally we'll quote animate end quote Wapple's cover story," and all it was just basically still images.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and for this director to do this, I'll get into that later. I'm sorry, I don't want to step on Jill's comments too much.
Oh no,
Jill?
I mean, I don't really have much else to say other than this is just phenomenal, and I'm gonna look forward to every single episode this director does, and hopefully she does quite a bit more for One Piece because it's just so good.
I've been doing, while we're talking, I've been doing Google searching, and she's on Twitter too, but she has not done a lot from what I could tell, and like I hope to follow her career because this is definitely the best looking episode of One Piece I've ever seen by I don't want to say a long shot, but it's definitely the best I've seen.
It is. Mamoru Hosoda directed an episode, and it's got nothing on this.
Yeah, this is. I think. Okay, so I want to say
that's a great episode too, but
and that is a good episode. And yeah, don't
Which
sleep
one was
on
that?
that episode.
Which
it
one
was
was
one of the
this?
episodes of episode 99. No, not 99. 199, I think, of G8.
maybe.
I
Yeah,
have to look.
that sounds
I
right.
have to look at that. That sounds
It's a
about
G8
right.
episode.
Yeah.
I want to say
Or
first
198
off,
maybe.
I think it was a controversial opinion, but I was a bigger fan of this chapter than the one that follows. And
Oh God.
I think we were, I think we were on the podcast, but that makes me even happier that this episode gets this kind of special treatment because this is a really fun one where you do get to see a lot of characters, but at the same time, I could have also seen this episode looking like they could have 100% gotten away with still images and reused footage. And, I have a lot of beef with how Toei has treated One Piece in the past. So this is just beyond a pleasant surprise. This is like when I saw people talking about this and I started seeing pictures of it, I'm like, what? I need to see this because this is crazy. And it really does look gorgeous. And I think Steve put it very well. But I'm glad it was this one. I don't know what the next episode is going to look like because it's going to also it has that issue where they could totally use stills the entire time if they wanted. And I'm curious how they do treat it. But this makes me optimistic, at least.
This is everything the anime should be. And I'm not saying every week is going to be feature quality animation. Just I reread the chapter 2. It's chapter, is it 956? Yeah, weird. It's got to do.
Oh yeah, this is when it
301.
overtook. This is the first time I
100.
think the anime has overtook the manga in number, like technically. So it's 957 covering 956.
Interesting.
Yeah, I saw that.
This is everything the anime should do. Fill in the blanks and expand upon. Because I reread this chapter today, and it's amazing how some of these amazing scenes are within a page or a panel. And that's not a knock on Oda because pressed for time, and he's got a lot he has to put into a chapter and a lot he probably has to omit. And this is where the anime is supposed to come in and fill those blanks. And by God, they didn't need to go this hard. And they did. And now I just want more. Just every like I said, they took something I didn't realize until you guys were mentioning it. They took a very expository episode and made it visually stunning. They need to do more of that.
And it would be so easy. It would be so easy for there to be an episode that's, quote unquote over animated or just like over stylized or just like, like something that gets attention and gets people talking about it, but it doesn't necessarily communicate the story. But that's not my problem with this episode at all.
No.
It's right. It feels like it feels like it's being made by people who really like see the best in the source material and like want to show you like the what they imagine when they read the manga. And just like nailing it perfectly and just purely on not just like animation wise, just on like a film level, just like visual storytelling.
Imagine if the whole series looked like this.
I mean, that's kind of hard. Like, like if the whole series looked like this, would this stop feeling special?
I guess
like
I feel spoiled now, to be honest. Now that I've seen this episode,
it's gonna be hard to go back.
I had my dessert before dinner.
Yeah. I could eat dessert all the time. I don't know about Sam, the man who eats Skittles Starburst all the time. Not to call you out.
Just I agree with Steve. It's just like this is what you want the anime to be. Like this is not just expanding on it. This is not just like retelling the same thing. It's just even stuff that's just directly from the manga. It comes out buttery smooth here.
They even like I was thinking like what's great is they did with the Kobe scene is he's being very secretive. He's like has himself like locked up in a room and like trying not to like is keeping his voice down. In the manga, it looks very casual, and like the anime, you have the shot of him like looking out the door window to make sure no one heard him. It's stuff like that.
It even had the ship creaking and like moving with the waves and stuff.
It had the light shining in through that dilapidated building that Drake was in, like with the dust of. You could see the dust of the room, like in the sunlight. That was cool too, like that kind of detail. Yep.
Yeah. Perfect episode.
This is a perfect episode. I have zero complaints.
Except that one about Blackbird for that second.
Yeah, that's like the only thing that's kind of standing out to me a little bit. But it's just like it's just worth it. Just so like I'll just sit there and just watch his clothes just flutter, and then when he hits that quake, oh my god, this is, ooh, I can't believe we're like 950 something episodes in, and I'm just like, oh hey, this is one of the best ones.
Definitely the best looking.
I'm just thrilled. We had like a really great chapter 1000, and the anime was off, and then just come back and get this.
It's a really great first episode of the year. So we'll see.
A really cool. It's like a very good primer too. I feel like it does explain a lot, even if you're not super caught up, which is what the anime is supposed to be there for. Because I remember when we did our original OPP Japan documentary, a lot of like the casual people, like the people we interviewed at Oda's schools, like the superintendents and the principals and stuff, obviously they're not reading the manga every week. They watch the anime every week though, because like that's a thing they could do with their kids, or it's just more casual people watch it, so they'll miss it every couple weeks and they won't know what's going on because One Piece, spoiler alert, gets confusing sometimes because there's a lot going on. So something like this, and done in such a cool way, that I think Steve hit the nail on the head. This is what the anime should be. It's really well done.
All right. Any final comments you guys want to sneak in here before we move on to the next segment?
It's good.
I'm just I'm just too good of a mood.
It's a good week, or it's a good day. It's not a good week, but it's a good day.
All right, let's move on.
This is the Piece Together segment where we take questions, comments, and theories on this, the day of my daughter's wedding. So let's get started with Steve. What do we call this segment?
Dispiece.
I'd had to step out for a little bit. So yeah, this is Dis Piece. Sam, you're taking our Discord questions this week. Is that correct?
Our first Dis Piece this week comes from Big Mike, who says, if Sanji
Wait.
was split into...
Sam, does Big Mike have a big boy sword? That's the question I have for him.
he's got a picture of Homer pointing a gun at me. So.
Oh, that is
yes,
too big.
he's got the biggest boy sword.
a little too much for
Gun.
me. Anyway, Sam,
Well, I mean, he's threatening me, so I gotta say nice.
you got it. Yeah, you got to ask the question. I understand.
If Sanji was split into 5 Sanjis based on aspects of his personality, and after the Straw Hats found the first 4 Sanjis, they needed to find cool Sanji so that they can put them back together, and they left you guys in charge of watching over horny Sanji, angry Sanji, sad Sanji, and phobic Sanji until they get back. How would you handle them?
Well, I'm a woman, so I would just tell them each to sit in a different corner and be quiet.
And he would listen to Jill. So I'm going to let Jill do that because I don't think he'd listen to us. Maybe Steve. Steve, would you
I think
listen
you
to
gotta like you gotta distract them. You know how you know how like when elementary school or just teachers in general just don't want to teach that day and they just play a movie in class.
Yeah. They rolled out the TV.
Giant
Should
vision.
play a porno.
Yeah, you know, just play like maybe a little more racy, mature film.
But like softcore is probably going to do it. You know?
Softcore will be enough.
You'll kill him.
Well,
at the
there is
heart.
just the one
You'll-
horny Sanji, and the rest are apparently different aspects.
Sam, all he needs is like a female lead in a movie, I think. It doesn't even need to be.
Oh wait, angry Sanji would be there too. So it's like, no, it's I want the real thing, damn it.
It's like what you found racy is like a 10-year-old. Like that's around the level Sanji is at. I think.
Wait, they said there's 5 aspects of Sanji? What else are we
Yeah, it was
missing?
cool, angry, sad.
The cool one, but they need to track cool one down. We're babysitting the other ones.
Well, they could follow the cigarette smoke because that's where the cool one is.
Wait, what are the other ones? So we got
It's
cool, horny,
angry, sad, and phobic.
Phobic, just lock them in the
Throw him
bathroom.
overboard. Throw him overboard. Just yeah.
I mean, can't we just like tie them all up and just like put them in a soundproof
The
room
sad
and
one
not-
needs just
not
like
think
a
about it?
therapist. Just be like, it's okay. You're okay.
He to be fair, he had a traumatic childhood, and the sad one probably should see a therapist. And
Sad
so
Sanji
should
won't
and the
hurt
phobic one
anybody.
too. The phobic one definitely should also
like
see a
like
therapist.
if you tried
The
all
angry
showing
one.
them. If you
And
tried
the
all
angry
showing them
one.
an adult film, I feel like sad Sanji would be like, it's not the same. It's not a
Actually-
substitute
Then it's
for
just
the
sad,
real
horny
thing."
Sanji, angry.
Yeah.
horny
So
Sanji.
if you take a singular aspect of Sanji's personality and take it to therapy, does the personality just disappear, or
No, it just
they all fuse back together, and that's the point of therapy.
it just becomes healthy because like anger is fine if you take it out in a healthy way. Sadness is fine if you do it in a healthy way. Coolness is fine if you don't smoke. You know, it all there are ways to be all of those things except phobic, I guess. But
I feel
the
like we
rest of
need to
them-
figure out how to point in one direction with our opinion on cool smoking here.
You mean
It's
don't
cool
smoke?
if it's a cartoon.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
it's
is
like-
absolutely true.
Guns are also pretty cool in anime, but not in real life. Things can be
Right,
cool.
yeah, you don't. Yeah, things could be cool that aren't actually cool. Just because you like something in a show or something doesn't mean it is actually good.
Now, how about big boy swords? Are big boy swords cool?
Always.
Big boy swords are always cool.
Kids
In
were
real
not
life,
role models.
or just in cartoons?
No, in all cases, I think. Yeah,
I can't think of
Yes,
bad cases for big boy swords.
yeah. I'm trying to think of a bad boy.
Whoa.
Sword?
Bad boy.
Is that too late for Steve to draw? Bad boy
What
sword.
Bad boy sword.
What do I even draw for that?
Bad boy, bad boy.
It would be. I think it would be Zoro trying to act
Your
bad,
big boy sword
but not
getting
actually
no
being bad.
break.
What's the next question, Sam?
Off,
All right.
off weeks are fun.
Our next disc piece comes from Ace is Dead.
Oh,
Wait.
Yes?
What?
Yes, Ace is Dead.
That's
is
a
his
spoiler.
person's
Wow.
name, which is
I
a tough
can't.
way to learn, but
I can't believe he would take Ace's death so lightly. It's really awful.
Disrespectful.
It's
You really
disrespectful.
shouldn't make a joke about that.
I agree. Sam, what's the question from Ace is Dead?
Today's One Piece episode it's not really a question, just today's One Piece episode was amazing. Did Toei find a bag of money to boost the episode quality?
Maybe they use their big boy sword to. Sorry.
That's all artistic talent, I think.
And I think, I also think the previous guest, Henry Thoreau, said it's not so much money, it's time.
Yeah.
If they have enough time.
And they also had an extra week off this one, so they may have been able to put that into it.
Time does cost money, so.
Time is money, Sam. It's a little different. I don't know if it's at all different, but it sounds different. Anything else there, Sam?
That is this piece this week.
All right, so Jill, do you want to sing our email tune? No? No. No, Jill? Okay. Jill does not want to do a strong bad impersonation.
Sorry, no, I was unmuted. Email.
Can you do a Homestar Runner?
I was never into it.
Steve, can you do a Homestar Runner?
I was never into it either.
Oh, what is wrong with you people? Does anyone watch
so
Homestar
young.
Runner?
I wish I was.
I am 5.
You do it, Zach. You do it.
Email. That's what he sounded like.
What?
Yeah, Homestar Runner, not strong bad. He had the thing. He couldn't say his R's. I also had that problem as a kid. Okay, now we all know. Anyway,
That's
Steven.
adorable. So you talked like a tontata?
Yes, when I was a child.
Dude,
when I was
my
like
brothers'
5.
names are Robert and Ronnie, and they could not pronounce their R's till they were like 12.
Oh no.
God, isn't it cruel to give your kids a name that they can't pronounce?
You find out too late, though.
Steven, not a translator for One Piece Wheeler, says, thanks for doing the live episode last week. That was a blast to watch, and I appreciate everything you guys do even more now. His question, what do you guys want to see happen to Orochi? Personally, I don't even know that I want to see him come back, because being killed by Kaido after the way he basically rubbed it in CP0's face that Kaido supported him is kind of good justice. Looking forward to the awesome fight we are about to get.
No, he deserves to be
Krang.
taken out by a good guy.
I want Robin to use her multiple hands to hold his multiple heads, and Zoro use his big boy sword and cut them all off.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I've said this on a previous podcast, but I want his head inside of Kaido's torso like Krang.
I don't think I am. I'm just ignoring that.
Kaido, bring me those blasted turtles.
Well, this would be post Kaido's death, and then Morio comes in and then like reanimates his corpse, and then
I love
Orochi.
this so much. Zach, see, the Ninja Turtles were a popular cartoon from the 1980s.
I was very into the Ninja Turtles. I just don't remember anything about it.
The Ninja Turtles.
That's how I pronounced it. Okay. God, he's
Do you
so
like-
mean.
Do you
My
like
5-year-old
turtles?
self is angry at Steve right now.
And then Big Mom is Shredder.
Jill, what's our
shredded?
What's our next segment?
We are visiting the subreddit Archipelago. So we have a couple questions on here. From Falcon Gales says, I know that not a lot of you participate in the anime review segment, which is going to be an exception today. But I'm curious if you will do anything different or special for the 1000th episode of the One Piece anime, which could very air by the end of the year. I mean, I
guess
assume
that
we'll
could
probably
air
do
by
something
the-
special for it.
What are we up to now again? Even though we've said it 8 times.
9:57. So
Oh, not the end of the year.
No, it could be because it's 52 weeks.
There's
in a
usually
year.
close to 50 episodes.
Yeah, we could definitely get there.
Yeah.
I'm
unless
curious what
something-
Toei is going to do, because for the 20th anniversary, they had the episode special based
And
off
Stampede,
of Romance
right?
Dawn. No, one of the,
Oh, yeah,
no,
yeah.
it was based off of one of the Romance Dawns.
They
Well,
might
they didn't
do
do
something
the other
special.
Romance Dawn.
I would love to do something kind of hyping up.
No, we
1000
definitely
episodes
will.
of the series.
Yeah, there'll be something really good for it. And I'm assumed that there's going to be a ton of like merch and stuff.
Yeah, the thing is, Toei is the bigger of the two companies, Shueisha and Toei. So I would expect an even bigger deal to be made out of that, if anything. Even though we on the podcast might not are usually a little more manga centric. No offense, Sam. Some offense. No offense, actually. But we'll definitely
Choose
do something.
your offense carefully.
I'm trying to level my offense at the correct place. No, well, it is a really big deal. I mean, how many series do you know that have gone 1,000 episodes? The Simpsons wish they went 1,000 episodes, and by that I mean they definitely don't wish they went 1,000 episodes.
I think Pokemon's over 1,000 still.
Is Detective Conan over?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Conan.
There's not a ton. Like there's a handful. But it is definitely a major achievement. Even if you put all the Dragon Ball series together, I'm assuming that's
not even
1,000.
close.
Yeah.
Why don't
And
we
I-
do more
yeah.
Dragon Ball Super?
Anyway, yeah, we will 100% do something for that, and I'm sure there'll be something cool done for that. What's next, Jill?
All right, and then the other question that is on Reddit is from Fried. Hey, OP press persons, how would you spend a Sunday afternoon with Nico or Robin? That's it. Robin's my favorite, and I'd like to spend a lovely Sunday afternoon with her. If you require more conversation fodder, you can discuss how you would spend a Sunday afternoon with your favorite Straw Hat. But really, I want to know about Robin. Thank you.
This is such an
What's she
question.
game for?
My
Sam?
instincts were to say go to some quaint small little bookstores with her and worship the ground she walks on. So
Yeah, I would very happily be her archaeology assistant and follow her around.
That'd be the best job.
I'd record a series of podcasts with her, using her
she's just
encyclopedic
smoking some
knowledge.
cigarettes. Here's the real thing about the lost history, man.
Very special guest Nico Robin.
Yeah, I think we could really get to the bottom of some things on the podcasts. I'm trying to think of like what else I would do with like Luffy or someone. But
I thought we were just asked about Robin.
well, we were asked to just respond about Robin, but if we need more conversation, we could talk about the others. But
I don't know. Like doing anything with the Straw Hats would be fun. Just going, like just exploring somewhere new.
Yeah.
I'd be
I would-
worried
I
I'd-
would go on I would go on a
Yes.
vacation with them.
With all
Like
of
they
them?
You know
would be a
what?
fun vacation.
I don't know about like Luffy and them. Like they might be stressful.
Imagine being stuck in like a van with like the whole crew. Like that sounds like a nightmare. It'd be fun eventually.
well, would you guys be okay, like literally sailing around this planet, like the world, with the Straw Hats on the Thousand Sunny? Assuming most of those things were possible, that it does.
I'm gonna watch out for like real Somalian pirates. It's like,
But
Oh, they'll
they would have
take care of
Shanks'
it.
a parrot thing on the side, right? Luffy
so
gets
Luffy would be like,
confused.
"Oh, hey, it's Shanks."
Oh
my
yeah,
old friend."
I forgot about the real Somali pirates that use Shanks's flag. It's like what happened. Like someone during the thing this week printed out. They looked up Georgia flag and they printed out the country
Yeah.
Georgia. And I assume the same thing happened with the Somali pirates, where they're like pirate flag, and Shanks's flag came out. And
I haven't heard about
I
this.
didn't either.
What?
Yeah, I didn't know about this either.
this was a couple years ago, right? It was a
No,
Yeah,
this
it
was
was a while ago.
No, this
Yeah.
is much longer than that.
Let's see if I can find it.
I think, yeah, I'm sure you could Google Somali pirates Shanks flag and find it, maybe.
Is it officially licensed?
By the Somali
What do you
pirates? Yeah, you could.
Yeah, I mean, like, is it
It's-
is it like official merch, or did they did they print something off?
Yeah, like
bought it.
I'm sure they're like, hey, we may be actual pirates, but we
do some things
there's-
by the books.
Yeah, they're like, if there is actual merch, we will support it.
Yeah, you
Use
could
the official
Google it, and
release.
it comes up. It's like the first result you'll see. Just
They
Somali
support the
pirates
official
Shanks
release.
flag. So
I put it in the chat.
yeah. So there you go.
Crazy.
Yeah, Shanks is a real life pirate. That's why we've talked about Shanks as kind of the fourth wall breaker of the series. It's because he's a real pirate in the real world. Anyway, I don't think we had any piece of the tweet this time, and Ed's not here to yell it, so what's the point even? So I think that's it. If you guys are ready to round off.
Yeah.
This has been episode 654 of the One Piece podcast for January 10th, 2021. This certainly was a insane episode of the podcast. Thank you all for coming on. Before we go, want to give another shout out. God's Will. Tell everyone about where and when and what you are up to for chapter 1000 this coming week, is it?
Yeah, this coming Saturday, we will be celebrating the 1000th chapter of One Piece. We will be having celebrities from all over the internet come over to play games and do trivia hosted by you guys, actually. And we're going to be raising money for charity, the World Central Kitchen, so that way we can show the internet that One Piece is the best fandom. And we will be on YouTube. It'll be happening on January 16th, 12 p.m. Pacific starting. It'll be going on for quite a few hours, and we'll be having a great time. And look for the link. You'll be seeing it all over the place pretty soon this week.
Great. Let's see. Jill, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and most other social media at PiratessOnLuck. That's pretty much it right now.
And Sam, where can people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at Lucky Chainsaw.
And Steve, where can people find you? I'll save you you don't have to do the whole word.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Find me on Twitter and Instagram. Steve Yurko is my name and username. And just as a reminder, listen for us on the new episode of the Shonen Jump podcast coming out soon.
Yes. And you could find us. I'm Zach_Logan. You can find Ed at Edward E. One Piece. And yeah, you could follow us on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts. You have to do the question mark at the end. It's very important. Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, anywhere you get your podcasts. You could find us at One Piece Podcast. Also find us on Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, and any other social media at One Piece Podcast. We're on Skype at One Piece Podcast if you still use that. You can also call us at our phone number. Steve, what's our phone number?
It's for something 497 Maji.
347-497 Maji.
Maji.
That phone number again is 347-497-6254. Call anytime.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Thank you. With your questions, comments, theories, or why you would send me this email on the day of my daughter's wedding. I am going to do this off the cuff. Let's see how this works. So you guys might know about the Sanji cookbook that came out in Japan. I'm going to ask you some questions about who some of the dishes are based off of, what arc they're based off of. Might depend. I'll just go around.
We got
ask you
3
some
attendees
questions.
of Sanji Con in here, so
Oh no.
Yeah. You guys better do well. So we're going to go in this order: Steve, Sam, Jill, God's Will. First one to get to 3 points wins. Okay, this is going to be my first question. The first one: the water steamed meat comes from supposedly which animal?
Ooh. That's a good question. I am gonna say it's pork.
No, not like literally, like which One Piece animal?
Oh. Oops. It's taking it too literally.
Yeah.
Is it Jump Ball or is it Steve?
No.
Steve, Steve
He
didn't
misunderstood.
Get I'm going to be nice here. We're not that mean, Sam. Usually. Sometimes.
Is it Yagerable?
It is Yagerable.
Oh my
Good
God,
job.
is it?
That's right.
Those-
That's what I was going
those-
to ask.
That's horrifying.
Those poor Yagerables.
Oh my God, so you're riding on a Yagerable while buying its dead friend to consume.
Sam.
Uh-oh.
Absalom inspired this real life food. And it does have an interrobang next to it for some reason.
But does it have a bounty?
What? This is a hard one. I also don't get why it's related to Absalom at all.
I mean, is it invisible?
Are you-
Invisible meat.
That would make sense. I'll give you an easier one because that's insanely hard. I'm realizing at this very moment.
What was the
Is,
answer?
does anyone want to guess?
No.
Croquette. It's a croquette. But I know
mixed
you
up.
guys are. Yeah. Okay, here we go. This filler.
Oh, maybe that's
food.
is that an attack that Sanji used on him or something? Or
Maybe it is. I don't know. This filler food is featured in the seafood section.
so there's a filler food in the seafood section.
Although
of
it
the
is
cookbook.
mentioned in the canon, but is heavily mentioned in the filler. And I know
is it
Steve,
was it bluefin elephant tuna or whatever?
Yes,
Mm.
perfect. Thank you, Sam. So that was slightly easier. Jill, you
They
get
still
the
ate
next
it
question.
in the canon, Zach.
No, I said that. I said they ate it in the canon, but it's heavily featured in the filler. Yeah, I corrected myself after. Let's see. Jill, these yummy clams are based on this mermaid.
Shirahashi?
No.
No.
Jump ball.
Kami?
Kami is the correct answer. Steve has 2 now. God's will.
Oh boy.
You're next.
Oh boy.
This bean stir fry is based off of a character in chapter 69.
Nice.
Nice.
You don't all have to do that at once, but thank you.
You can use that as the sink.
Yeah.
This bean stir fry is a favorite pick of someone in chapter 69, and he is an ally. Who is it? Ally, but not a straw hat.
69.
Nice.
Nice.
This is a little bit of a harder one.
Yeah, I'm trying to be like, what? Who we meet back in '69? But I'm thinking like Zoro's buddies. But
Which one of his buddies would it be?
Johnny? No.
I'm not going to jump ball it because there's only one other, and it's
Yeah.
Yasuku.
Yeah.
Zoro doesn't have
Um,
many friends.
That's a very good guess there, though. Steve, you are next. There are a lot of Davy Back related items, for whatever reason, but one is cleverly named after a person in One Piece. I believe. I'm double checking this because I'm doing these questions.
So the trivia is, what is the dish?
You know what? I don't even think this is correct. No, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. I'm going to ask you a new question because that doesn't make any sense. Here we go. This one's weird because it makes no sense, and you're winning, so I should give you a harder question. There is one dish, I believe, for some reason, based off of Impel Down.
Oh.
It is named after this animal, this real life animal. Not that this real life animal is part of the recipe, because it's definitely not, because that would make no sense. But yeah, it's a roast of this.
What is the question?
I'll do it. Impel Down has one recipe in this, and is named after a real life bird, but it is not. But that bird is definitely not the one being cooked. As a hint, what real life bird is the recipe named after?
Is it that giant rooster that's on one of the levels of Impel?
No,
Down?
it's a real life bird. It's named after.
What am I doing?
Name a bird.
Name a bird. That's all I'm asking you to do.
Name a bird.
Any bird.
Any bird at all.
I think I hear your clock ticking. Okay. I'll give you an easier one, unless anyone has a guess here.
I am so confused by the wording
Seagull.
of that question.
Ostrich.
Hummingbird is the answer.
Why the hell would there be hummingbird in Impel
That's
Down?
why I was wondering. It was a really weird
How can
choice.
you eat a hummingbird
Yeah.
that's like nothing?
Yeah, right? It wouldn't even be a
Not
bite.
even
Yeah,
a
it's all
snack.
hair.
It's like popcorn chicken.
Okay, I'll give you another.
You trash talk.
I'll give you another meat dish. This one is based after chapter 162. Nice. Wait. Anyway, it is a monster roast based off of this Alabasta animal.
Monster roast. It was a graveyard
Toast.
smost.
Smost? You said smost?
It's a roast based off of this alabaster. It's a roast.
It's a meat roast based off of
Yeah.
this.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fish.
Based.
Not a lot of fish in the desert, to be fair.
Okay, so it's not. Yeah, it's not a fish. Is it the animal that's being cooked?
It's not a real animal. I'm asking for the One Piece animal this time.
Camel roast. I don't know.
No, I
Camels
wish.
are real animals.
That is a real animal.
No, but I mean,
yes.
like you're not eating a camel.
I'm asking for. It is a real. Okay, this is technically a real animal, but it's an animal. This real animal is of a specific place
Don't
in
bring these questions
Alabasta.
on Saturday. Don't
Okay.
bring these.
No, I'm not. Don't worry. This one I'm just doing because we've been.
You're
ridiculous
so lucky
here.
God's will got Johnny or
is it the
Yosaku because I
crab?
would just came in and ended this.
What did you say, Jill?
Is it the big crab?
No. Any other
Isn't
guesses
it like
from
the big
anyone?
lizard thing?
Yes. Do you know the name of it?
Oh.
I don't know what it's called. No.
Anyone know the name of those?
Grilled lizard. The running
Sandora lizard is.
Sandora.
Okay, who are we up to here? Sam. All right, let's find one here. Oh, this one I believe was a favorite of Luffy in Amazon Lily, where he tried to eat a bunch of it. It is this type of gorgonzola. Get it? Amazon Lily. It's made of this seafood. What about
Does it
that?
have a
This
bounty?
one piece seafood.
Um,
Does it have a bounty? Get this guy out of here.
Has it killed
What
him?
are we doing here?
are they the big snakes that pulls Hancock's ship?
No. She wouldn't eat those. That's awful. Why would
But
you
Luffy
even
might.
suggest that?
Yeah, Luffy.
I'm so
No.
confused by the wording of this question. This is an
Okay.
animal in One Piece. What's the dish?
No, so the dish is the penne gorgonzola that's served in Amazon Lily that Luffy eats a bunch of. There's a scene where you've probably seen the GIF around the internet of Luffy gorging himself on this specific penne gorgonzola.
Yeah, but what's
so
the question?
So the question is, what very, very well-known One Piece animal that shows up many times in the series is the seafood portion of this penne gorgonzola?
Oh, is it just Sea King?
It is just Sea King. You see, Sam got it.
But Sea
It's
King,
like-
that's like a wide, Sea King is like a
Yeah.
broad category.
Yeah,
feel like
well,
there's
that's
gotta be,
what
like,
that's what it's
specific-
called. I don't know what. What do you-
No, it's just it's a
Look, I'm trying to be more clever here,
Give me the
and
book.
it's failing. Okay, here we
the
go.
rules
Jill.
change with every question.
Yes, Jill.
Yes.
Gonfall has juice of this specific.
Pumpkin.
Yes.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you, Jill.
God's
is this
will.
a real vegetable or a vegetable?
Which animal is this?
God's will. This is, I believe, the only item from Jaya featured in the book.
Pumpkin. I don't know.
They love pumpkin.
They did
Always
come
eating
from Jaya.
pumpkin. Oh yeah, they did. You're right.
Oh yeah, they did.
I guess everything there came from Jaya.
Yeah, I don't
All
remember.
exported. Anyone?
Jump ball?
Jump
Sweet
ball.
cherry pie.
Yep, Steve
Oh,
wins.
Thank God. All
Cherry
right,
pie.
Steve.
Steve.
I was thinking they were eating Southbirds out here, so
Zora would be very happy to eat a salad.
What animals in the cherry pie?
The cherries.
the hummingbird, the cherry birds, the what is it?
It's like how Zach's like, this is a food they eat in Jaya.
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
Is that is this Jeopardy or is that like a statement?
Who's my cherry pie?
That's gonna do it for this very interesting episode of the One Piece podcast. We'll be back next week to go through chapter 1001. That's going to be fun. Oh, so by the way, we're going to have some guests coming up in the next few weeks. Grand Line Review will be joining us next week. Tori, formerly from Viz, the following week. And Vera will be here the last weekend in January. So look forward to all that. And if you have not, please subscribe to us on patreon.com/One Piece Podcast. I think a Forced to Watch 4Kids is coming out soon, right, Steve?
Yeah, we haven't recorded yet, but we're gonna. So
yeah, so look forward to that. Anyway, we'll see you next week, everyone. My name is Zach.
And my name is Steve.
He's the only one left. See you, everyone.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Oops. Drop my big boy sword.
Steve, get out.
No, that's fine. Yeah,
Steve, I don't want your sword, okay? I can't take a hint. Just get out.
I mean, it's big.
I don't care
Boys.
about the size of your sword or your sex. It doesn't matter to me.
Zach, I want my juice.
But you need a twisty straw.
Now, can a twisty straw be a big boy sword?
I mean, that's what they tell them, right? As long as you tell Zoro it's a big boy sword.
On this, the day of my daughter's wedding?